Book 9, Chapter 1. How a young man came into the court of King Arthur, and how Sir Kay called him in scorn la cote mail tale. At the court of King Arthur there came a young man in bigly made, and he was richly beseen, and he desired to be made knight of the king, but his overgarment set over thwartly. Howbeit it was rich cloth of gold. What is your name? Said King Arthur. Sir, said he, my name is Bruno Lenoir, and within short space ye shall know that I am of good kin. It may well be, said Sir Kay, the seneschal, but in mockage ye shall be called la cote mail tale, that is as much to say, the evil-shapen coat. It is a great thing that thou askest, said the king, and for what cause wearest thou that rich coat? Tell me, for I can well think for some cause it is. Sir, he answered, I had a father, a noble knight, and as he rode hunting, upon a day it happed him to lay him down to sleep. And there came a knight that had been long his enemy, and when he saw he was fast asleep he ought to hew him. And this same coat had my father on the same time, and that maketh this coat to sit so evil upon me, for the strokes be on it as I found it, and never shall be amended for me. Thus to have my father's death in remembrance, I wear this coat till I be revenged, and because ye are called the most noblest king of the world, I come to you that ye should make me knight. Sir, said Sir Lamorak and Sir Gaheris, it were well done to make him knight, for him beseemeth well of person and of countenance, that he shall prove a good man, and a good knight, and a mighty, for, sir, and ye be remembered, even such one was Sir Lancelot du Lake when he came first into this court, and full few of us knew from whence he came. And now is he proved the man of most worship in the world. And all your court and all your round table is by Sir Lancelot worshipped and amended more than by any knight now living. That is truth, said the king, and tomorrow at your request I shall make him knight. So on the morrow there was an hart found, and thither rode King Arthur with a company of his knights to slay the hart. And this young man that Sir Kay named la cote mail tale was there left behind with Queen Guinevere, and by sudden adventure there was an horrible lion kept in a strong tower of stone, and it happened that he at that time brake loose, and came hurling afore the queen and her knights. And when the queen saw the lion she cried and fled, and prayed her knights to rescue her. And there was none of them all but 12 that abode, and all the other fled. Then said la cote mail tale, now I see well that all coward knights be not dead. And therewithal he drew his sword and dressed him before the lion. And that lion gaped wide and came upon him ramping to have slain him. And he then smote him in the midst of the head such a mighty stroke, that it clave his head in sunder, and dashed to the earth. Then was it told the queen how the young man that Sir Kay named by scorn la cote mail tale had slain the lion. With that the king came home. And when the queen told him of that adventure, he was well pleased, and said, upon pain of mine head he shall prove a noble man and a faithful knight, and true of his promise. Then the king forthwithal made him knight. Now, sir, said this young knight, I require you and all the knights of your court, that ye call me by none other name but la cote mail tale. In so much as Sir Kay has so named me, so will I be called. I assent me well thereto, said the king. Chapter 2. How a damosel came into the court and desired a knight to take on him an enquest, which la cote mail tale emprised. Then that same day there came a damosel into the court, and she brought with her a great black shield, with a white hand in the midst holding a sword. Other picture was there none in that shield. When King Arthur saw her, he asked her from whence she came and what she would. Sir, she said, I have ridden long and many a day with this shield many ways, and for this cause I am come to your court. There was a good knight that ought this shield, and this knight had undertaken a great deed of arms to achieve it, and so it misfortuned him another strong knight met with him by sudden adventure, and there they fought long, and either wounded other passing sore, and they were so weary that they left that battle even hand. So this knight that ought this shield saw none other way but he must die, and then he commanded me to bear this shield to the court of King Arthur, he requiring and praying some good knight to take this shield, and that he would fulfill the quest that he was in. Now what say ye to this quest? Said King Arthur, is there any of you here that will take upon him to wield this shield? Then was there not one that would speak one word. Then Sir Kay took the shield in his hands. Sir knight, said the damosel, what is your name? Wit ye well, said he, my name is Sir Kay, the seneschal, that wide where is known. Sir, said the damosel, lay down that shield, for wit ye well it falleth not for you, for he must be a better knight than ye that shall wield this shield. Damosel, said Sir Kay, wit ye well I took the shield in my hands by your leave for to behold it, not to that intent, but go wheresoever thou wilt, for I will not go with you. Then the damosel stood still a great while and beheld many of those knights. Then spake the knight, La Cote Male Tail, fair damosel, I will take the shield and that adventure upon me, so I wish I should know whitherward my journey might be. For because I was this day made knight, I would take this adventure upon me. What is your name, fair young man? Said the damosel. My name is, said he, La Cote Male Tail. Well mayest thou be called so, said the damosel, the knight with the evil shapen coat. But an thou be so hardy to take upon thee to bear that shield and to follow me, wit thou well thy skin shall be as well hewn as thy coat. As for that, said La Cote Male Tail, when I am so hewn I will ask you no salve to heal me withal. And forthwithal there came into the court 2 squires, and brought him great horses, and his armour, and his spears. And anon he was armed and took his leave. I would not by my will, said the king, that ye took upon you that hard adventure. Sir, said he, this adventure is mine, and the first that ever I took upon me, and that will I follow whatsoever come of me. Then the damosel departed, and La Cote Male Tail fast followed after. And within a while he overtook the damosel, and anon she missaid him in the foulest manner. Chapter 3. How La Cote Male Tail overthrew Sir Dagonet the king's fool, and of the rebuke that he had of the damosel. Then Sir Kay ordained Sir Dagonet, King Arthur's fool, to follow after La Cote Male Tail. And there Sir Kay ordained that Sir Dagonet was horse and armed, and bade him follow La Cote Male Tail and proffer him to joust, and so he did. And when he saw La Cote Male Tail, he cried and bade him make him ready to joust. So Sir La Cote Male Tail smote Sir Dagonet over his horse's croup. Then the damosel mocked La Cote Male Tail, and said, Fie for shame. Now art thou shamed in Arthur's court, when they sent a fool to have ado with thee, and specially at thy first joust. Thus she rode long, and chid. And within a while there came Sir Bleoberis, the good knight, and they jousted with La Cote Male Tail, and there Sir Bleoberis smote him so sore, that horse and all fell to the earth. Then La Cote Male Tail arose up lightly, and dressed his shield, and drew his sword, and would have done battle to the utterance, for he was wood-wroth. Not so, said Sir Bleoberis to Gannis, as at this time I will not fight upon foot. Then the damosel Maledicent rebuked him in the foulest manner, and bade him, Turn again, coward. Ah, damosel, he said, I pray you of mercy to missy me no more. My grief is enough, though ye give me no more. I call myself never the worst knight when a maid's son faileth me, and also I count me never the worst knight for full Sir Bleoberis. So thus he rode with her 2 days, and by fortune there came Sir Palomides and encountered with him, and he in the same wise served him as did Bleoberis beforehand. What dost thou here in my fellowship? Said the damosel Maledicent, Thou canst not sit no night, nor withstand in one buffet, but if it was Sir Dagonet. Ah, fair damosel, I am not the worse to take a fool as Sir Palomides, and yet great disworship have I none, for neither Bleoberis nor yet Palomides would not fight with me on foot. As for that, said the damosel, wit thou well they have disdain and scorn to light off their horses to fight with such a lewd knight as thou art. So in the meanwhile there came Sir Mordred, Sir Gawain's brother, and so he fell in the fellowship with the damosel Maledicent. And then they came afore the castle Orgulus, and there was such a custom that there might no knight come by that castle, but either he must joust or be prisoner, or at the least to lose his horse and his harness. And there came out 2 knights against them, and Sir Mordred jousted with the foremost, and that knight of the castle smote Sir Mordred down off his horse. And then La Cote Male Tail jousted with that other, and either of them smote other down, horse and all, to the earth. And when they avoided their horses, then either of them took others' horses. And then La Cote Male Tail rode unto that knight that smote down Sir Mordred, and jousted with him. And there Sir La Cote Male Tail hurt, and wounded him passing sore, and put him from his horse as he had been dead. So he turned unto him that met him afore, and he took the flight towards a castle, and Sir La Cote Male Tail rode after him into the castle Orgulus, and there La Cote Male Tail slew him. Chapter 4. How La Cote Male Tail fought against 100 knights, and how he escaped by the mean of a lady. And anon there came 100 knights about him and assailed him, And when he saw his horse should be slain, he alighted and voided his horse, and put the bridle under his feet, and so put him out of the gate. And when he had so done, he hurled in among them, and dressed his back unto a lady's chamber wall, thinking himself that he had liefer die there with worship than to abide the rebukes of the damosel Maledicent. And in the meantime, as he stood and fought, that lady whose was a chamber went out slyly at her postern, and without the gate she found La Cote Male Tail's horse, and lightly she get him by the bridle, and tied him to the postern. And then she went unto her chamber slyly again, for to behold how that one knight fought against 100 knights. And when she had beheld him long, she went to a window behind his back, and said, Thou knight, thou fightest wonderly well, but for all that at the last thou must needs die. But, and thou canst through thy mighty prowess, win unto yonder postern, for there have I fastened thy horse to abide thee. But wit thou well thou must think on thy worship, and think not to die, for thou mayst not win unto the postern without thou do nobly and mightily. When La Cote Male Tail heard her say, so he gripped his sword in his hands, and put his shield fair afore him, and through the thickest press he throve through them. And when he came to the postern, he found there ready 4 knights, and at 2 the first strokes he slew 2 of the knights, and the other fled. And so he won his horse and rode from them. And all as it was rehearsed in King Arthur's court, how he slew 12 knights within the castle Orgulus, and so he rode on his way. And in the meanwhile the damosel said to Sir Mordred, I ween my foolish knight be either slain or taken prisoner. Then were they ware where he came riding. And when he was come unto them, he told all how he had sped and escaped in despite of them all. And some of the best of them will tell no tales. Thou liest falsely, said the damosel, that dare I make good, but as a fool and a dastard to all knighthood they have let thee pass. That may ye prove, said La Cote Male Tail, with that she sent a courier of hers, that rode alway with her, for to know the truth of this deed. And so he rode to the lightly, and asked how and in what manner that La Cote Male Tail was escaped out of the castle. Then all the knights cursed him, and said that he was a fiend and no man. For he hath slain here 12 of our best knights, and we weened unto this day that it had been too much for Sir Lancelot du Lake, or for Sir Tristram de Lions. And in despite of us all he is departed from us and maugre our heads. With this answer the courier departed and came to Maledicent his lady, and told her all how Sir La Cote Male Tail had spared at the castle Orgulus. Then she smote down her head, and said little. By my head, said Sir Mordred to the damosel, ye are greatly to blame so to rebuke him, for I warn you plainly he is a good knight, and I doubt not but he shall prove a noble knight. But as yet he may not yet sit sure on horseback, for he that shall be a good horseman it must come of usage and exercise. But when he cometh to the strokes of his sword, he is then noble and mighty, and that saw Sir Bleoberis and Sir Palamides. For wit ye well they are wily men of arms, and anon they know when they see a young knight by his riding, how they are sure to give him a fall from his horse or a great buffet. But for the most part they will not light on foot with young knights, for they are white and strongly armed. For in likewise Sir Lancelot du Lake, when he was first made knight, he was often put to the worse upon horseback, but ever upon foot he recovered his renown, and slew and defoiled many knights of the Round Table. And therefore the rebukes that Sir Lancelot did unto many knights caused them that be men of prowess to beware. For often I have seen the old proved knights rebuked and slain by them that were but young beginners. Thus they rode sure talking by the way together. Here leave we off a while of this tale, and speak we of Sir Lancelot du Lake. Chapter 5. How Sir Lancelot came to the court and heard of La Cote Male Tail, and how he followed after him, and how La Cote Male Tail was prisoner. That when he was come to the court of King Arthur, then heard he tell of the young knight La Cote Male Tail, how he slew the lion, and how he took upon him the adventure of the Black Shield, the which was named at that time the hardiest adventure of the world. So God me save, said Sir Lancelot unto many of his fellows, it was shame to all the noble knights to suffer such a young knight to take such adventure upon him for his destruction. For I will that ye wit, said Sir Lancelot, that the damosel Maledicent hath borne that shield many a day for to seek the most proved knights, and that was she that Breuse Saunce-Pite took that shield from her, and after Tristram de Lions rescued that shield from him, and gave it to the damosel again, a little. Afore that time that Sir Tristram fought with my nephew Sir Blamore de Gannis, for a quarrel that was betwixt the King of Ireland and him. Then many knights were sorry that Sir La Cote Male Tail was gone forth to that adventure. Truly, said Sir Lancelot, I cast me to ride after him, And within 7 days Sir Lancelot overtook La Cote Maletail, and then he saluted him and the damosel Maledicent. And when Sir Mordred saw Sir Lancelot, then he left their fellowship. And so Sir Lancelot rode with them all a day, and ever that damosel rebuked La Cote Maletail. And then Sir Lancelot answered for him. Then she left off, and rebuked Sir Lancelot. So this meantime Sir Tristram sent by a damosel a letter unto Sir Lancelot, excusing him of the wedding of Isoud la Blanche Mains, and said in the letter, as he was a true knight, he had never do fleshly with Isoud la Blanche Mains. And passing courteously and gently, Sir Tristram wrote unto Sir Lancelot, ever beseeching him to be his good friend, and unto La Belle Isoud of Cornwall, and that Sir Lancelot would excuse him if ever he saw her. And within short time, by the grace of God, said Sir Tristram, that he would speak with La Belle Isoud, and with him right hastily. Then Sir Lancelot departed from the Deimos and from Sir La Cote Maletail, for to oversee that letter, and to write another letter unto Sir Tristram de Lions. And in the meanwhile La Cote Maletail rode with the damosel until they came to a castle that hight Pendragon, and there were 6 knights stood afore him, and one of them proffered to joust with La Cote Maletail. And there La Cote Maletail smote him over his horse's croup. And then the 5 knights set upon him all at once with their spears, and there they smote La Cote Maletail down, horse and man. And then they alighted suddenly, and set their hands upon him all at once, and took him prisoner, and so led him unto the castle, and kept him as prisoner. And on the morn Sir Lancelot arose, and delivered the damosel with letters unto Sir Tristram, and then he took his way after La Cote Maletail. And by the way upon a bridge there was a knight proffered Sir Lancelot to joust, and Sir Lancelot smote him down, and then they fought upon for the noble battle together, and a mighty, and at the last Sir Lancelot smote him down grovelling upon his hands and his knees. And then that knight yielded him, and Sir Lancelot received him fair. Sir, said the knight, I require thee tell me your name, for much my heart giveth unto you. Nay, said Sir Lancelot, as at this time I will not tell you my name, unless then that ye tell me your name. Certainly, said the knight, my name is Sir Nerovens, that was made knight of my lord Sir Lancelot du Lake. Ah, Nerovens Delisle, said Sir Lancelot, I am right glad that ye approved a good knight, for now wit ye well my name is Sir Lancelot du Lake. Alas, said Sir Nerovens Delisle, what have I done? And therewithal flatling he fell to his feet, and would have kissed them. But Sir Lancelot would not let him, and then either made great joy of other. And then Sir Nerovens told Sir Lancelot that he should not go by the castle of Pendragon, for there is a lord, a mighty knight, and many knights with him. And this night I heard say that they took a knight prisoner yesterday that rode with a damosel, and they say he is a knight of the Round Table. Ah, said Sir Lancelot, that knight is my fellow, and him shall I rescue, else I shall lose my life therefore. And therewithal he rode fast till he came before the castle of Pendragon, and anon therewithal there came 6 knights, and all made them ready to set upon Sir Lancelot at once. Then Sir Lancelot feuded his spear, and smote the foremost that he brake his back in sunder, and 3 of them hit and 3 failed. And then Sir Lancelot passed through them, and lightly he turned in again, and smote another knight through the breast and throughout the back more than an ell, and therewithal his spear brake. So then all the remnant of the 4 knights drew their swords and lashed at Sir Lancelot. And at every stroke Sir Lancelot bestowed so his strokes that 4 strokes sundry they avoided their saddles, passing so wounded. And forthwithal he rode hurling into that castle. And anon the lord of the castle, that was at time clept Sir Brian de Les Isles, the which was a noble man and a great enemy unto King Arthur, within a while he was armed and upon horseback. And then they feuded their spears and hurled together so strongly that both their horses rashed to the earth. And then they avoided their saddles, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords, and flanged together as would men, and there were many strokes given in a while. At the last Sir Lancelot gave to Sir Brian such a buffet that he kneeled upon his knees, and then Sir Lancelot rushed upon him, and with great force he pulled off his helm. And when Sir Brian saw that he should be slain, he yielded him, and put him in his mercy and in his grace. Then Sir Lancelot made him to deliver all his prisoners that he had within his castle, and therein Sir Lancelot found of Arthur's knights 30, and 40 ladies, and so he delivered them, and then he rode his way. And anon as La Cote Maletail was delivered he get his horse, and his harness, and his damosel Maledicent. The meanwhile Sir Nerovens, that Sir Lancelot had fought in withal afore at the bridge, he sent a damos after Sir Lancelot to wit how he sped at the castle of Pendragon. And then they within the castle marvelled what knight he was, when Sir Brian and his knights delivered all those prisoners. Have ye no marvel, said the damosel, for the best knight in this world was here, and did this journey. And wit ye well, she said, it was Sir Lancelot. Then was Sir Brian full glad, and so was his lady, and all his knights, that such a man should win them. And when the damosel and La Cote Male Tail understood that it was Sir Lancelot du Lake that had ridden with them in fellowship, and that she remembered how she had rebuked him and called him coward, then was she passing heavy. Chapter 7. How Sir Lancelot met with a damosel named Maledisant, and named her the damosel by impensant. So then they took their horses and rode for the pace after Sir Lancelot. And within 2 mile they overtook him, and saluted him, and thanked him. And the damosel cried Sir Lancelot mercy of her evil deed, and saying, For now I know the flower of all knighthood is departed even between Sir Tristram and you. For God knoweth, said the damosel, that I have sought you, my lord, Sir Lancelot, and Sir Tristram long. And now I thank God I have met with you. And once at Camelot I met with Sir Tristram, and there he rescued this black shield with a white hand, holding a naked sword that Sir Breuse Sauncepike had taken from me. Now, fair damosel, said Sir Lancelot, who told you my name? Sir, said she, there came a damosel from a knight that ye fought withal at the bridge, and she told me your name was Sir Lancelot du Lake. Blame have she then, said Sir Lancelot, but her lord, Sir Nerovens, hath told her. But, damosel, said Sir Lancelot, upon this covenant I will ride with you, so that ye will not rebuke this knight Sir La Cote Male Tail no more. For he is a good knight, and I doubt not he shall prove a noble knight, and for his sake and pity that he should not be destroyed, I followed him to succour him in this great need. Aye, Jesu thank you, said the damos, for now I will say unto you and to him both, I rebuked him never for no hate I hated him, but for great love that I had to him. For ever I supposed that he had been too young and too tender to take upon him these adventures, and therefore by my will I would have driven him away for jealousy that I had of his life, for it may be no young knight's deed that shall achieve this adventure to the end. Pardieu, said Sir Lancelot, it is well said, and where ye are called the damosel Maledisant, I will call you the damosel by impensant. And so they rode forth a great while until they came to the border of the country of Surlus, and there they found a fair village with a strong bridge like a fortress. And when Sir Lancelot and they were the bridge, there stepped forth afore them of gentlemen and yeomen many, that said, Fair lords, ye may not pass this bridge in this fortress because of that black shield that I see one of you bear, and therefore there shall not pass but one of you at once. Therefore choose you which of you shall enter within this bridge first. Then Sir Lancelot proffered himself first to enter within this bridge. Sir, said La Cote Male Tail, I beseech you let me enter within this fortress, and if I may speed well I will send for you, and if it happen that I be slain, there it goeth. And if so be that I am a prisoner taken, then may you rescue me. I am loath, said Sir Lancelot, to let you pass this passage. Sir, said La Cote Male Tail, I pray you let me put my body in this adventure. Now go your way, said Sir Lancelot, and Jesu be your speed. So he entered, and anon there met with him 2 brethren, the one hight Sir Plain de Force, and the other hight Sir Plain de Emos. And anon they met with Sir La Cote Male Tail, and first La Cote Male Tail smote down Plain de Force, and after he smote down Plain de Emos, and then they dressed them to their shield and swords, and bade La Cote Male Tail alight, and so he did. And there was dashing and foining with swords, and so they began to assail full hard La Cote Male Tail, and many great wounds they gave him upon his head, and upon his breast, and upon his shoulders. And as he might ever among, he gave sad strokes again. And then the 2 brethren Trace and Travis are to be of both hands of Sir La Cote Male Tail, but he by fine force and knightly prowess gat them afore him. And then when he felt himself so wounded, then he doubled his strokes, and gave them so many wounds that he felled them to the earth, and would have slain them had they not yielded them. And right so Sir La Cote Male Tail took the best horse that there was of them 3, and so rode forth his way to the other fortress and bridge. And there he met with a 3rd brother whose name was Sir Plenorius, a full noble knight, and there they jousted together, and either smote other down, horse and man, to the earth. And then they avoided their horses, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords, and gave many sad strokes, and one while the one knight was afore on the bridge, and another while the other. And thus they fought 2 hours and more, and never rested. And ever Sir Lancelot and the damosel beheld them. Alas, said the damosel, my knight fighteth passing sore and overlong. Now may ye see, said Sir Lancelot, that he is a noble knight, for to consider his first battle, and his grievous wounds, and even forthwithal so wounded as he is, it is marvel that he may endure this long battle with that good knight. This meanwhile Sir Maeltail sank right down upon the earth, what full wounded and what full bled he might not stand. Then the other knight had pity of him, and said, Fair young knight, dismay you not, for had he been fresh when he met with me, as I was, I wot well that I should not have endured so long as he have done, and therefore for your noble deeds of arms I shall show to you kindness and gentleness in all that I may. And forthwithal this noble knight, Sir Plenorius, took him up in his arms, and led him into his tower. And then he commanded him the wine, and made to search him and to stop his bleeding wounds. Sir, said Maeltail, withdraw you from me, and hie you to yonder bridge again, for there will meet with you another man and knight than ever was I. Why, said Plenorius, is there another man and knight behind of your fellowship? Yea, said Maeltail, there is a much better knight than I am. What is his name? Said Plenus. Ye shall not know for me, said Maeltail. Well, said the knight, he shall be encountered withal whatsoever he be. Then Sir Plenorius heard a knight call that said, Sir Plenorius, where art thou? Either thou must deliver me the prisoner that thou hast led unto thy tower, or else come and do battle with me. Then Plenus get his horse, and came with a spear in his hand walloping towards Sir Lancelot. And then they began to feud of their spears, and came together as thunder, and smote either other so mightily that their horses fell down under them. And then they avoided their horses, and pulled out their swords, and like two bulls they lashed together with great strokes and foins. But ever Sir Lancelot recovered ground upon him, and Sir Plenorius traced to have gone about him. Then Sir Lancelot received him and took his troth, and then he rode to the other bridge. And there Sir Lancelot jousted with other 3 of his brethren, the one hight Palounds, and the other hight Pelagris, and the third Sir Palandris. And first upon horseback Sir Lancelot smote them down, and afterward he beat them on foot, and made them to yield them unto him. And then he returned unto Sir Plenus, and they found in his prison King Carados of Scotland, and many other knights, and all they were delivered. And then Sir Maeltail came to Sir Lancelot, and then Sir Lancelot would have given him all these fortresses and these bridges. Nay, said Maeltail, I will not have Sir Plenorius' livelihood, but that he will grant you, my lord Sir Lancelot, to come unto King Arthur's court, and to be his knight, and all his brethren. I will pray you, my lord, to let him have his livelihood. I will well, said Sir Lancelot, with this that he will come to the court of King Arthur and become his man, and his brethren 5. And as for you, Sir Plenorius, I will undertake, said Sir Lancelot, at the next feast, so there be a place voided, that ye shall be knight of the Round Table. Sir, said Plenorius, at the next feast of Pentecost I will be at Arthur's court, and at that time I will be guided and ruled as King Arthur, and ye will have me. Then Sir Lancelot and Sir Maeltail reposed them there, unto the time that Sir Maeltail was whole of his wounds, and that they had merry cheer, and good rest, and many good games, and there were many fair ladies. And in the meanwhile came Sir Kay, the seneschal, and Sir Brandiles, and anon they fellowshipped with them. And then within 10 days, then departed those knights of Arthur's court from these fortresses. And as Sir Lancelot came by the castle of Pendragon, there he put Sir Brian de Les Isles from his lands, for cause he would never be withhold with King Arthur, and all that castle of Pendragon and all the lands thereof he gave to Sir Maeltail. And then Sir Lancelot sent for Nerovens that he made once knight, and he made him to have all the rule of that castle and of that country, under Maeltail. And so he rode to Arthur's court all wholly together. And at Pentecost next following there was Sir Plenorius and Sir Maeltail, called otherwise by rights of Brunel and Wow, both made knights of the Table Round, and great lands King Arthur gave them, and their Brunel and Wow wedded that damosel Maledicent, and after she was called Bovivante, but ever after for the more part he was called Maeltail, and he proved a passing noble knight, and mighty, and many worshipful deeds he did after in his life. And Sir Plenorius proved a noble knight and full of prowess, and all the days of their life for the most part they awaited upon Sir Lancelot. And Sir Plenorius' brethren were ever knights of King Arthur. And also, as the French book maketh mention, Sir La Cote Male Tail avenged his father's death. Now leave we here Sir La Cote Male Tail, and turn we unto Sir Tristram de Lions that was in Brittany. When La Beale Isoud understood that he was wedded, she sent to him by a maiden Bragwain as piteous letters as could be thought and made, and her conclusion was that, and it pleased Sir Tristram, that he would come to her court, and bring with him Isoud La Blanche Mains, and they should be kept as well as she herself. Then Sir Tristram called unto him Sir Cahidus, and asked him whether he would go with him into Cornwall secretly. He answered him that he was ready at all times. And then he let ordain privily a little vessel, and therein they went, Sir Tristram, Cahidus, Dame Bragwain, and Gouvernail, Sir Tristram's squire. So when they were in the sea, a contrarious wind blew them on the coast of North Wales, nigh the Castle Perilous. Then said Sir Tristram, Here shall ye abide me these 10 days, and Gouvernail, my squire, with you. And if so be I come not again by that day, take the next way into Cornwall. For in this forest are many strange adventures, as I have heard say, and some of them I cast me to prove or I depart. And when I may, I shall hie me after you. Therewithal that knight made no words, but took his shield and buckled it about his neck, and lightly he took his horse and leapt upon him. And then he took a great spear of his squire, and departed his way a furlong. Sir Cahidus asked leave of Sir Tristram to joust first. Do your best, said Sir Tristram. So they met together, and there Sir Cahidus had a fall, and was sore wounded on high above the paps. Then Sir Tristram said, Knight, that is well jousted, now make you ready unto me. I am ready, said the knight. And then that knight took a greater spear in his hand, and encountered with Sir Tristram, and there by great force that knight smote down Sir Tristram from his horse, and had a great fall. Then Sir Tristram was so ashamed, and lightly he avoided his horse, and put his shield afore his shoulder, and drew his sword. And then Sir Tristram required that knight of his knighthood to alight upon foot and fight with him. I will well, said the knight, and so he alighted upon foot, and avoided his horse, and cast his shield upon his shoulder, and drew his sword, and there they fought a long battle together full nigh 2 hours. Then Sir Tristram said, Fair knight, hold thine hand, and tell me of whence thou art, and what is thy name. As for that, said the knight, I will be avest, but an thou wilt tell me thy name peradventure, I will tell thee mine. Chapter 11. How Sir Tristram met with Sir Lamorak de Gales, and how they fought, and after accorded never to fight together. Now, fair knight, he said, my name is Sir Tristram de Lions. Sir, said the other knight, and my name is Sir Lamorak de Gales. Ah, Sir Lamorak, said Sir Tristram, well be we met. And bethink thee now of the despite thou didst me of the sending of the horn unto King Mark's court, to the intent to have slain or dishonoured my lady the queen, La Beale Isoud, and therefore wit thou well, said Sir Tristram, the one of us shall die or we depart. So, said Sir Lamorak, remember that we were together in the Isle of Servage, and at that time ye promised me great friendship. Then Sir Tristram would make no longer delays, but lashed at Sir Lamorak, and thus they fought long till either were weary of other. Then Sir Tristram said to Sir Lamorak, In all my life met I never with such a knight that was so big and well-breathed as ye be. Therefore, said Sir Tristram, it were pity that any of us both should here be mischieved. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, for your renown and name I will that ye have the worship of this battle, and therefore I will yield me unto you. And therewith he took the point of his sword to yield him. Nay, said Sir Tristram, ye shall not do so, for well I know your proffers, and more of your gentleness than for any fear or dread ye have of me. And therewithal Sir Tristram proffered him his sword, and said, Sir Lamorak, as an overcome knight I yield me unto you as to a man of the most noble prowess that ever I met withal. Nay, said Sir Lamorak, I will do you gentleness. I require you let us be sworn together that never none of us shall after this day have ado with other. And therewithal Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak swear that never none of them should fight against other, nor for weal nor for woe. Chapter 12. How Sir Palomides followed the questing beast, and smote down Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak with one spear. And this meanwhile there came Sir Palomides, the good knight, following the questing beast that had in shape a head like a serpent's head, and a body like a leopard, buttocks like a lion, and footed like an hart. And in his body there was such a noise as it had been the noise of 30 couple of hounds questing, and such a noise that beast made wheresoever he went. And this beast evermore Sir Palomides followed, for it was called his quest. And right so as he followed this beast it came by Sir Tristram, and soon after came Palomides. And to brief this matter, he smote down Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak both with one spear. And so he departed after the beast Galdazant, that was called the questing beast. Wherefore these two knights were passing wroth that Sir Palomides would not fight on foot with them. Here men may understand that be of worship, that he was never formed that all times might stand, but sometime he was put to the worst by malfortune, and at some time the worst knight put the better knight to a rebuke. Then Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak get Sir Cahidius upon a shield betwixt them both, and led him to a forester's lodge, and there they gave him in charge to keep him well, and with him they abode 3 days. Then the two knights took their horses, and at the cross they departed. And then said Sir Tristram to Sir Lamorak, I require you, if ye hap to meet with Sir Palomides, say him that he shall find me at the same well where I met him, and there I, Sir Tristram, shall prove whether he be better knight than I. And so either departed from others sundry way, and Sir Tristram rode nigh the areas with Sir Cahidius, and Sir Lamorak rode until he came to a chapel, and there he put his horse unto pasture. And anon there came Sir Meliagauns, that was King Bagdemagus' son, and he there put his horse to pasture, and was not ware of Sir Lamorak. And then this night Sir Meliagauns made his moan of the love that he had to Queen Guinevere, and there he made a woeful complaint. All this heard Sir Lamorak, and on the morn Sir Lamorak took his horse and rode unto the forest, and there he met with two knights hoving under the woodshore. Fair knights, said Sir Lamorak, what do ye hoving here and watching? And if ye be knights errant that will joust, lo, I am ready. Nay, Sir Knight, they said, not so. We abide not here to joust with you, but we lie here in the wait of a knight that slew our brother. Chapter 13. How Sir Lamorak met with Sir Meliagauns, and fought together for the beauty of Dame Guinevere. Right so as they stood talking thus Sir Lamorak was where how Sir Lancelot came riding straight toward them. Then Sir Lamorak saluted him, and he him again. And then Sir Lamorak asked Sir Lancelot if there were anything that he might do for him in these marches. Nay, said Sir Lancelot, not at this time I thank you. Then either departed from other, and Sir Lamorak rode again dury as he left the two knights, and then he found them hid in the leaved wood. Fie on you, said Sir Lamorak, false cowards, pity and shame it is that any of you should take the high order of knighthood. So Sir Lamorak departed from them, and within a while he met with Sir Meliagauns. And then Sir Lamorak asked him why he loved Queen Guinevere as he did, for I was not far from you when ye made your complaint by the chapel. Did ye so? Said Sir Meliagauns, then will I abide by it. I love Queen Guinevere. What will ye with it? I will prove and make good that she is the fairest lady and most of beauty in the world. As to that, said Sir Lamorak, I say nay thereto, for Queen Morgause of Orkney, mother to Sir Gawain, and his mother is the fairest queen and lady that beareth life. That is not so, said Sir Meliagauns, and that will I prove with my hands upon thy body. Will ye so? Said Sir Lamorak, and in a better quarrel keep I not to fight. Then they departed either from other in great wrath. And then they came riding together as it had been thunder, and either smote other so sore that their horses fell backward to the earth. And then they avoided their horses, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords. And then they hurtled together as wild bulls, and thus they fought a great while. For Meliagauns was a good man and of great might, but Sir Lamorak was hard big for him, and put him always aback, but either had wounded other sore. And as they stood thus fighting, by fortune came Sir Lancelot and Sir Bleoberis riding. And then Sir Lancelot rode betwixt them, and asked them for what cause they fought so together. And ye are both knights of King Arthur. Sir, said Meliagauns, I shall tell you for what cause we do this battle. I praise my lady, Queen Guinevere, and said she was the fairest lady of the world. And Sir Lamorak said nay thereto, for he said Queen Morgause of Orkney was fairer than she and more beauty. Ah, Sir Lamorak, why sayest thou so? It is not thy part to dispraise thy princess, that thou art under her obeisance, and we all. And therewith he alighted on foot, and said, For this quarrel, make thee ready, for I will prove upon thee that Queen Guinevere is the fairest lady and most of bounty in the world. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, I am loath to have ado with you in this quarrel, for every man thinketh his own lady fairest, and though I praise the lady that I love most, ye should not be wroth. For though my lady, Queen Geneva, be fairest in your eye, wit ye well Queen Morgause of Orkney is fairest in mine eye, and so every knight thinketh his own lady fairest. And wit ye well, sir, ye are the man in the world except Sir Tristram that I am most loathest to have ado withal, but, an ye will needs, fight with me I shall endure you as long as I may. Then spake Sir Bleoberis and said, My lord Sir Lancelot, I wish you never so misadvised as ye are now, for Sir Lamorak saith ye but reason and knightly. For I warn you I have a lady, and methinketh that she is the fairest lady of the world. Were this a great reason that ye should be wroth with me for such language? And well ye wot, that Sir Lamorak is as noble a knight as I know, and he hath aught you and us ever goodwill, and therefore I pray you be good friends. Then Sir Lancelot said unto Sir Lamorak, I pray you forgive me mine evil will, and if I was misadvised I will amend it. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, the amends is soon made betwixt you and me. And so Sir Lancelot and Sir Bleoberis departed, and Sir Meliagaunce and Sir Lamorak took their horses, and either departed from other. And within a while came King Arthur, and met with Sir Lamorak, and jousted with him. And there he smote down Sir Lamorak, and wounded him sore with a spear, and so he rode from him. Wherefore Sir Lamorak was wroth that he would not fight with him on foot, howbeit that Sir Lamorak knew not King Arthur. Chapter 14. How Sir Kay met with Sir Tristram, and after the shame spoken of the knights of Cornwall, and how they jousted. Now leave we of this tale, and speak we of Sir Tristram, that as he rode he met with Sir Kay, the seneschal, and there Sir Kay asked Sir Tristram of what country he was. He answered that he was of the country of Cornwall. It may well be, said Sir Kay, for yet heard I never that ever good knight came out of Cornwall. That is evil spoken, said Sir Tristram, but an it please you to tell me your name I require you. So, wit ye well, said Sir Kay, that my name is Sir Kay, the seneschal. Is that your name? Said Sir Tristram, Now wit ye well that ye are named the shamefullest knight of your tongue that now is living. Howbeit ye are called a good knight, but ye are called unfortunate, and passing overthwart of your tongue. And thus they rode together till they came to a bridge. And there was a knight would not let them pass till one of them jousted with him. And so that knight jousted with Sir Kay, and there that knight gave Sir Kay a fall. His name was Sir Tor, Sir Lamorak's half-brother. And then they two rode to their lodging, and there they found Sir Brandiles. And Sir Tor came to them anon after. And as they sat at supper these 4 knights, 3 of them spake all shame by Cornish knights. Sir Tristram heard all that they said, and he said but little, but he thought the more. But at that time he discovered not his name. Upon the morn Sir Tristram took his horse, and abode them upon their way. And there Sir Brandiles proffered to joust with Sir Tristram, and Sir Tristram smote him down, horse and all, to the earth. Then Sir Torlefies de Vaisho encountered with Sir Tristram, and there Sir Tristram smote him down, and then he rode his way. And Sir Kay followed him, but he would not of his fellowship. Then Sir Brandiles came to Sir Kay and said, I would fain what is that knight's name? Come on with me, said Sir Kay, and we shall pray him to tell us his name. So they rode together till they came nigh him. And then they were where he sat by a well, and had put off his helm to drink at the well. And when he saw them come, he laced on his helm lightly, and took his horse, and proffered them to joust. Nay, said Sir Brandiles, we jousted late enough with you. We come not in that intent. But for this we come to require you of knighthood to tell us your name. My fair knights, sit hen that is your desire, and to please you, ye shall wit that my name is Sir Tristram de Lyons, nephew unto King Mark of Cornwall. In good time, said Sir Brandiles, and well be ye found, and wit ye well that we be right glad that we have found you, and we be of a fellowship that will be right glad of your company. For ye are the knight in the world that the noble fellowship of the Round Table most desireth to have the company of. God thank them, said Sir Tristram, of their great goodness. But as yet I feel well that I am unable to be of their fellowship, for I was never yet of such deeds of worthiness to be in the company of such a fellowship. Ah, said Sir Kay, and ye be Sir Tristram de Lyons. Ye are the man called now most of prowess except Sir Lancelot du Lake. For he beareth not the life, Christian nor heathen, that can find such another knight, to speak of his prowess, and of his hands, and his truth withal. For yet could there never creature say of him dishonour and make it good. Thus they talked a great while, and then they departed either from other such ways as them seemed best. Now shall ye hear what was the cause that King Arthur came into the forest perilous, that was in North Wales, by the means of a lady. Her name was Enower, and this lady came to King Arthur at Cardiff, and she by fair promise and fair behest made King Arthur to ride with her into that forest perilous. And she was a great sorceress. And many days she had loved King Arthur, and because she would have him to lie by her, she came into that country. So when the king was gone with her, many of his knights followed after King Arthur when they missed him, as Sir Lancelot, Brandiles, and many other. And when she had brought him to her tower, she desired him to lie by her. And then the king remembered him of his lady, and would not lie by her for no craft that she could do. Then every day she would make him ride into that forest with his own knights, to the intent to have had King Arthur slain. For when this lady Enower saw that she might not have him at her will, then she laboured by false means to have destroyed King Arthur, and slain. Then the Lady of the Lake that was always friendly to King Arthur, she understood by a subtle craft that King Arthur was like to be destroyed. And therefore this Lady of the Lake, that hight Nimue, came into that forest to seek after Sir Lancelot du Lake or Sir Tristram for to help King Arthur. For as that same day this Lady of the Lake knew well that King Arthur should be slain, unless that he had help of one of these two knights. And thus she rode up and down till she met with Sir Tristram, and anon as she saw him she knew him. O my lord Sir Tristram, she said, well be ye met, and blessed be the time that I have met with you, for this same day, and within these 2 hours, shall be done the foulest deed that ever was done in this land. O fair damosel, said Sir Tristram, may I amend it? Come on with me, she said, and that in all the haste ye may, for ye shall see the most worshipfullest knight of the world hard bestead. Then said Sir Tristram, I am ready to help such a noble man. He is neither better nor worse, said the Lady of the Lake, but the noble King Arthur himself. God defend, said Sir Tristram, that ever he should be in such distress. Then they rode together a great pace, until they came to a little turtle castle, and underneath that castle they saw a knight standing upon foot fighting with 2 knights, and so Sir Tristram beheld them, and at the last the 2 knights smote down the one knight, and that one of them unlaced his helm to have slain him. And the Lady Enower gat King Arthur's sword in her hand to have stricken off his head. And therewithal came Sir Tristram with all his might, crying, Traitress, traitress, leave that. And anon there Sir Tristram smote the one of the knights through the body that he fell dead. And then he rashed to the other and smote his back asunder. And in the meanwhile the Lady of the Lake cried to King Arthur, let not that false lady escape. Then King Arthur overtook her, and with the same sword he smote off her head, and the Lady of the Lake took up her head and hung it up by the hair of her saddle bow. And then Sir Tristram horsed King Arthur and rode forth with him, but he charged the Lady of the Lake not to discover his name as at that time. When the king was horsed he thanked heartily Sir Tristram, and desired to wit his name, but he would not tell him, but that he was a poor knight adventurous. And so he bare King Arthur fellowship till he met with some of his knights. And within a while he met with Sir Ector de Maris, and he knew not King Arthur nor Sir Tristram, and he desired to joust with one of them. Then Sir Tristram rode unto Sir Ector, and smote him from his horse. And when he had done so, he came again to the king and said, My lord, yonder is one of your knights. He may bear you fellowship. And another day that deed that I have done for you, I trust God ye shall understand that I would do you service. Alas, said King Arthur, let me wit what ye are. And then at a day said Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak met at the well. And then they took Cahidus at the forester's house. And so they rode with him to the ship where they left Dame Bragwain and Gouvernail. And so they sailed into Cornwall all wholly together. And by assent and information of Dame Bragwain, when they were landed, they rode unto Sir Dinas, the seneschal, a trusty friend of Sir Tristram's. And so Dame Bragwain and Sir Dinas rode to the court of King Mark, and told the queen, La Beale Isoud, that Sir Tristram was nigh her in that country. Then for very pure joy La Beale Isoud swooned, and when she might speak, she said, Gentle knight seneschal, help that I might speak with him, out of my heart will brast. Then Sir Dinas and Dame Bragwain brought Sir Tristram and Cahidus privily unto the court, unto a chamber whereas La Beale Isoud had assigned it, and to tell the joys that were betwixt La Beale Isoud and Sir Tristram, there is no tongue can tell it, nor heart think it, nor pen write it. And as the French book maketh mention, at the first time that ever Sir Cahidius saw La Beale Isoud, he was so enamoured upon her that for very pure love he might never withdraw it. And at the last, as ye shall hear or the book be ended, Sir Cahidius died for the love of La Beale Isoud. And then privily he wrote unto her letters and ballads of the most goodliest that were used in those days. And when La Beale Isoud understood his letters, she had pity of his complaint, and unavised she wrote another letter to comfort him withal. And Sir Tristram was all this while in a turret at the commandment of La Beale Isoud, and when she might she came unto Sir Tristram. So on a day King Mark played at the chess under chamber window, and at that time Sir Tristram and Sir Cahidius were within the chamber over King Mark, and as it mishap Sir Tristram found the letter that Cahidius sent unto La Beale Isoud. Also he had found the letter that she wrote unto Cahidius, and at that same time La Beale Isoud was in the same chamber. Then Sir Tristram came unto La Beale Isoud and said, Madam, here is a letter that was sent unto you, and here is the letter that ye sent unto him that sent you that letter. Alas, madam, the good love that I have loved you, and many lands and riches have I forsaken for your love, and now ye are traitorous to me, the which doth me great pain. But as for thee, Sir Cahidius, I brought thee out of Brittany into this country, and thy father, King Howell, I won his lands, howbeit I wedded thy sister Isoud La Blanche Mains for the goodness she did unto me. And yet, as I am true knight, she is a clean maiden for me. But wit thou well, Sir Cahidius, for this falsehood and treason thou hast done me, I will revenge upon thee. And therewithal Sir Tristram drew out his sword and said, Sir Cahidius, keep thee. And then La Beale Isoud swooned to the earth. And when Sir Cahidius saw Sir Tristram come upon him, he saw none other boot, but leapt out at a bay window even over the head, where sat King Mark playing at the chess. And when the king saw one come hurling over his head, he said, Fellow, what art thou? And what is the cause thou leapest out at that window? My lord the king, said Cahidius, it fortuned me that I was asleep in the window above your head, and as I slept I slumbered, and so I fell down. And thus Sir Cahidius excused him. Then Sir Tristram dread so lest he were discovered unto the king that he was there. Wherefore he drew him to the strength of the tower, and armed him in such armour as he had for to fight with them that would withstand him. And so when Sir Tristram saw there was no resistance against him, he sent Gouvernail for his horse and his spear, and nightly he rode forth out of the castle openly, that was called the Castle of Tintagel. And even at gate he met with Gingelin, Sir Gawain's son. And anon Sir Gingelin put his spear in his rest, and ran upon Sir Tristram and brake his spear. And Sir Tristram at that time had but a sword, and gave him such a buffet upon the helm that he fell down from his saddle, and his sword slitted down, and carved asunder his horse's neck. And so Sir Tristram rode his way into the forest, and all this doing saw King Mark. And then he sent a squire unto the hurt knight, and commanded him to come to him. And so he did. And when King Mark wist that it was Sir Gingelin, he welcomed him and gave him an horse, and asked him what knight it was that had encountered with him. Sir, said Gingelin, I wot not what knight he was, but well I wot that he sigheth and maketh great dole. Then Sir Tristram within a while met with a knight of his own, that hight Sir Fergus. And when he had met with him, he made great sorrow, insomuch that he fell down off his horse in a swoon, and in such sorrow he was in 3 days and 3 nights. Then at the last Sir Tristram sent unto the court by Sir Fergus, for to speer what tidings. And so as he rode by the way, he met with a damosel that came from Sir Palomides, to know and seek how Sir Tristram did. Then Sir Fergus told her how he was almost out of his mind. Alas, said the damosel, where shall I find him? In such a place, said Sir Fergus. Then Sir Fergus found Queen Isoud sick in a bed, making the greatest dole that ever any earthly woman made. And when the damosel found Sir Tristram, she made great dole because she might not amend him, for the more she made of him, the more was his pain. And at the last Sir Tristram took his horse and rode away from her. And then was it 3 days or that she could find him, and then she brought him meat and drink, but he would none. And then another time Sir Tristram escaped away from Adamos, and it happed him to ride by the same castle where Sir Palomides and Sir Tristram did battle when La Beale Isoud departed them. And there by fortune the damosel met with Sir Tristram again, making the greatest dole that ever earthly creature made. And she yetted to the lady of that castle and told her the misadventure of Sir Tristram. Alas, said the lady of that castle, where is my lord, Sir Tristram? Right here by your castle, said the damosel. In good time, said the lady, is he so nigh me? He shall have meat and drink of the best. And an harp I have of his, whereupon he taught me. For of goodly harping he beareth the prize in the world. So this lady and damosel brought him meat and drink, but he ate little thereof. Then upon a night he put his horse from him, and then he unlaced his armor. And then Sir Tristram would go into the wilderness, and brass down the trees and boughs. And other while when he found the harp that the lady sent him, then would he harp, and play thereupon, and weep together. And sometime when Sir Tristram was in the wood that the lady wist not where he was, then would she sit her down and play upon that harp. Then would Sir Tristram come to that harp, and hearken thereto, and sometime he would harp himself. Thus he there endured a quarter of a year. Then at the last he ran his way, and she wist not where he was become. And then was he naked and waxed lean and poor of flesh. And so he fell in the fellowship of herdmen and shepherds, and daily they would give him some of their meat and drink. And when he did any shrewd deed, they would beat him with rods. And so they clipped him with shears and made him like a fool. And upon a day Dagonet, King Arthur's fool, came into Cornwall with 2 squires with him. And as they rode through the forest, they came by a fair well where Sir Tristram was wont to be. And the weather was hot, and they alighted to drink of that well. And in the meanwhile their horses brake loose. Right, so Sir Tristram came unto them. And first he soused Sir Dagonet in that well, and after his squires, and thereat laughed the shepherds. And forthwithal he ran after their horses, and brought them again one by one. And right so, whereas they were, he made them leap up and ride their ways. Thus Sir Tristram endured there an half year naked, and would never come in town nor village. The meanwhile the damosel that Sir Palomides sent to seek Sir Tristram, she yet unto Sir Palomides, and told him all the mischief that Sir Tristram endued. Alas, said Sir Palomides, it is great pity that ever so noble a knight should be so mischieved for the love of a lady. But nevertheless, I will go and seek him, and comfort him, and I may. Then a little before that time La Beale Isude had commanded Sir Caius out of the country of Cornwall. So Sir Cahidius departed with a dolorous heart, and by adventure he met with Sir Palomides, and they in fellowship together, and either complained to other of their hot love that they loved La Beale Isude. Now let us, said Sir Palomides, seek Sir Tristram, that loved her as well as we, and let us prove whether we may recover him. So they rode into that forest, and 3 days and 3 nights they would never take their lodging, but ever sought Sir Tristram. And upon a time, by adventure, they met with King Mark that was ridden from his men all alone. When they saw him, Sir Palomides knew him, but Sir Cahidius knew him not. Ah, false king, said Sir Palomides, it is pity thou hast thy life, for thou art a destroyer of all worshipful knights, and by thy mischief and thy vengeance thou hast destroyed that most noble knight, Sir Tristram de Lyons. And therefore defend thee, said Sir Palomides, for thou shalt die this day. That was shame, said King Mark, for ye two are armed and I am unarmed. As for that, said Sir Palomides, I shall find a remedy therefore. Here is a knight with me, and thou shalt have his harness. Nay, said King Mark, I will not have ado with you, for cause have ye none to me. For all the misease that Sir Tristram was for a letter that he found. For as to me, I did to him no displeasure, and God knoweth I am full sorry for his disease and malady. So when the king had thus excused him, they were friends, and King Mark would have had them unto Tintagil, but Sir Palomides would not, but turned unto the realm of Logres, and Sir Cahidius said that he would go into Brittany. Now turn we unto Sir Dagonet again, that when he and his squires were upon horseback, he deemed that the shepherds had sent that fool to array them so, because that they laugh at them, and so they rode unto the keepers of beasts and all to beat them. Sir Tristram saw them beat that were wont to give him meat and drink. Then he ran thither and gat Sir Dagonet by the head, and gave him such a fall to the earth that he bruised him sore so that he lay still. And then he rased his sword out of his hand, and therewith he ran to one of his squires and smote off his head, and the other fled. And so Sir Tristram took his way with that sword in his hand, running as he had been wildwood. Then Sir Dagonet rode to King Mark, and told him how he had sped in that forest. And therefore, said Sir Dagonet, beware, King Mark, that thou come not about that well in the forest, for there is a fool naked, and that fool and I fool met together, and he had almost slain me. Ah, said King Mark, that is a meadow Lebrun, that fell out of his wit because he lost his lady. For when Sir Gaheris smote down Sir Maddo and won his lady of him, never since was he in his mind, and that was pity, for he was a good knight. Chapter 19. how it was noised how Sir Tristram was dead, and how La Beale Isoud would have slain herself. Then Sir Andrade, that was cousin unto Sir Tristram, made a lady that was his paramour to say and to noise it that she was with Sir Tristram or ever he died. And this tale she brought unto King Mark's court, that she buried him by a well, and that or he died he besought King Mark to make his cousin, Sir Andrade, king of the country of Lions, of the which Sir Tristram was lord of. All this did Sir Andrade because he would have had Sir Tristram's lands. And when King Mark heard tell that Sir Tristram was dead, he wept and made great dole. But when Queen Isoud heard of these tidings, she made such sorrow that she was nigh out of her mind. And so upon a day she thought to slay herself and never to live after Sir Tristram's death. And so upon a day La Beale Isoud get a sword privily and bare it to her garden, and there she pied the sword through a plum tree up to the hilt, so that it stuck fast, and it stood breast high. And as she would have run upon the sword and to have slain herself, all this espied King Mark, how she kneeled down and said, Sweet Lord Jesu, have mercy upon me, for I may not live after the death of Sir Tristram de Lions, for he was my first love, and he shall be the last. And with these words came King Mark and took her in his arms, and then he took up the sword, and bare her away with him into a tower, and there he made her to be kept, and watched her surely, and after that she lay long sick, nigh at the point of death. This meanwhile ran Sir Tristram naked in the forest with a sword in his hand, and so he came to an hermitage, and there he laid him down and slept. And in the meanwhile the hermit stole away his sword, and laid meat down by him. Thus was he kept there 10 days, and at the last he departed and came to the herdmen again. And there was a giant in that country that hight Tullius, and for fear of Sir Tristram more than 7 years he durst never much go at large, but for the most part he kept him in a shore castle of his own. And so this Tullius heard tell that Sir Tristram was dead by the noise of the court of King Mark. Then this Tullius went daily at large. And so he happed upon a day he came to the herdmen wandering and languing, and there he set him down to rest among them. The meanwhile there came a knight of Cornwall that led a lady with him, and his name was Sir Dinant. And when the giant saw him, he went from the herdmen and hid him under a tree. And so the knight came to that well, and there he alighted to repose him. And as soon as he was from his horse, this giant Tullius came betwixt this knight and his horse, and took the horse and leapt upon him. So forthwith he rode unto Sir Dinant, and took him by the collar, and pulled him afore him upon his horse, and they would have stricken off his head. Then the herdmen said unto Sir Tristram, Help yonder knight. Help ye him, said Sir Tristram. We dare not, said the herdmen. Then Sir Tristram was ware of the sword of the knight therein as it lay, and so did he ran and took up the sword and struck off Sir Tullius' head, and so he yet his way to the herdmen. Chapter 20. How King Mark found Sir Tristram naked, and made him to be borne home to Tintagel, and how he was then known by a brachet. Then the knight took up the giant's head and bare it with him unto King Mark, and told him what adventure betid him in the forest, and how a naked man rescued him from the grimly giant Tullius. Where had ye this adventure? Said King Mark. Forsooth, said Sir Dinant, at the fair fountain in your forest where many adventurous knights meet, and there's the madman. Well, said King Mark, I will see that wild man. So within a day or two King Mark commanded his knights and his hunters that they should be ready on the morn for to hunt, and so upon the morn he went unto that forest. And when the king came to that well, he found there lying by that well a fair naked man, and a sword by him. Then King Mark blew and straked, and therewith his knights came to him. And then the king commanded his knights to take that naked man with fairness, and bring him to my castle. So they did softly and fair, and cast mantles upon Sir Tristram, and so led him unto Tintagel, and there they bathed him, and washed him, and gave him hot suppings till they had brought him well to his remembrance. But all this while there was no creature that knew Sir Tristram, nor what man he was. So it fell upon a day that the queen, La Beale Isoud, heard of such a man, that ran naked in the forest, and how the king had brought him home to the court. Then La Beale Isoud called unto her dame Bragwain, and said, Come on with me, for we will go see this man that my lord brought from the forest the last day. So they passed forth, and speered where was the sick man. And then a squire told the queen that he was in the garden taking his rest, and reposing him against the sun. So when the queen looked upon Sir Tristram, she was not remembered of him. But ever she said unto Dame Bragwain, Meseemeth I should have seen him heretofore in many places. But as soon as Sir Tristram saw her, he knew her well enough. And then he turned away his visage and wept. Then the queen had always a little brachet with her that Sir Tristram gave her the first time that ever she came into Cornwall, and never would that brachet depart from her but as Sir Tristram was nigh thereas was la Belisade. And this brachet was sent from a king's daughter of France unto Sir Tristram for great love. And anon as this little brachet fell a savour of Sir Tristram, she leapt upon him and licked his leers and his ears, and then she whined and quested, and she smelled at his feet and at his hands, and on all parts of his body that she might come to. Ah, my lady, said Dame Bragwaine unto La Beale Isoud, alas, alas, said she, I see it is mine own lord, Sir Tristram. And thereupon Isoud fell down in a swoon, and so lay a great while. And when she might speak, she said, My lord Sir Tristram, blessed be God ye have your life, and now I am sure ye shall be discovered by this little brachet, for she will never leave you. And also I am sure as soon as my lord, King Mark, do know he will banish you out of the country of Cornwall, or else he will destroy you. For God's sake, mine own lord, grant King Mark his will, and then draw you unto the court of King Arthur, for there are ye beloved, and ever when I may I shall send unto you, and when ye list ye may come to me, and at all times early and late I will be at your commandment, to live as poor a life as ever did queen or lady. O madam, said Sir Tristram, go from me, for mickle anger and danger have I escaped for your love. Chapter 21. How King Mark, by the advice of his council, banished Sir Tristram out of Cornwall the term of 10 years. Then the queen departed, but the brachet would not from him. And therewithal came King Mark, and the brachet set upon him, and bade at them all. Therewithal Sir Andrade spake and said, Sir, this is Sir Tristram, I see by the brachet. Nay, said the king, I cannot suppose that. Then the king asked him upon his faith what he was, and what was his name. So God me help, said he, my name is Sir Tristram de Lyons. Now do by me what ye list. Ah, said King Mark, me repenteth of your recovery. And then he let call his barons to judge Sir Tristram to the death. Then many of his barons would not assent thereto, and in especial Sir Dinas, the seneschal, and Sir Fergus. And so by the advice of them all Sir Tristram was banished out of the country for 10 years, and thereupon he took his oath upon a book before the king and his barons. And so he was made to depart out of the country of Cornwall, and there were many barons brought him unto his ship, of the which some were his friends and some his foes. And in the meanwhile there came a knight of King Arthur's, his name was Dinadan, and his coming was for to seek after Sir Tristram. Then they showed him where he was armed at all points going to the ship. Now, fair knight, said Sir Dinadan, or ye pass this court that ye will joust with me I require thee. With a good will, said Sir Tristram, and these lords will give me leave. Then the barons granted thereto, and so they ran together, and there Sir Tristram gave Sir Dinadan a fall. And then he prayed Sir Tristram to give him leave to go in his fellowship. Ye shall be right welcome, said then Sir Tristram. And so they took their horses and rode to their ships together, and when Sir Tristram was in the sea, he said, Greet well King Mark and all mine enemies, and say them I will come again when I may, and well am I rewarded for the fighting with Sir Miles, and delivered all this country from servage, and well am I rewarded for the fetching and cost of Queen Isoud out of Ireland, and the danger that I was in first and last, and by the way, coming home, what danger I had to bring again Queen Isoud. From the castle Pluo, and well am I rewarded when I fought with Sir Bleoberis or Sir Segwaride's wife, and well am I rewarded when I fought with Sir Blamor de Gonis for King Anguish, father unto La Beale Isoud, and well am I rewarded when I smote down the good knight, Sir Lamorak de Gales, at King Mark's request, and well am I rewarded when I fought with the king with the 100 knights, and the king of North Gales, and both these would have put his land in servage, and by me they were put to a rebuke, and well am I rewarded for the slaying of Tolias, the mighty giant, and many other deeds have I done for him, and now have I my warison. And tell King Mark that many noble knights of the Table Round have spared the barons of this country for my sake. Also am I not well rewarded when I fought with the good knights of Palamides and rescued Queen Isoud from him. And at that time King Mark said afore all his barons I should have been better rewarded. And forthwithal he took the sea. And at the next landing, fast by the sea, there met with Sir Tristram and with Sir Dinadan, Sir Ector de Maris and Sir Bors de Gonis. And there Sir Ector jousted with Sir Dinadan, and he smote him and his horse down. And then Sir Tristram would have jousted with Sir Bors. And Sir Bors said that he would not joust with no Cornish knights, for they are not called men of worship. And all this was done upon a bridge. And with this came Sir Bleoberis and Sir Driant. And Sir Bleoberis proffered to joust with Sir Tristram, and there Sir Tristram smote down Sir Bleoberis. Then said Sir Bors to Ganis, I wist never Cornish knight of so great valour nor so valiant, as that knight that beareth the trappings embroidered with crowns. And then Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan departed from them into a forest, and there met them a Deimos that came for the love of Sir Lancelot to seek after some noble knights of King Arthur's court for to rescue Sir Lancelot. And so Sir Lancelot was ordained, for by the treason of Queen Morgan le Fay to have slain Sir Lancelot. And for that cause she ordained 30 knights to lie in await for Sir Lancelot, and this damosel knew this treason. And for this cause the damosel came for to seek noble knights to help Sir Lancelot. For that night, or the day after, Sir Lancelot should come where these 30 knights were. And so this damosel met with Sir Bors and Sir Ector and with Sir Driant, and there she told them all for the treason of Morgan le Fay. And then they promised that they would be nigh where Sir Lancelot should meet with the 30 knights. And if so be they set upon him, we will do rescues as we can. So the damosel departed, and by adventure the damosel met with Sir Tristram and with Sir Dinadan, and there the damosel told them all the treason that was ordained for Sir Lancelot. Fair Deimos, said Sir Tristram, bring me to that same place where they should meet with Sir Lancelot. Then said Sir Dinadan, what will ye do? It is not for us a fight with 30 knights, and wit you well I will not thereof. As to match one knight 2 or 3 is enough and they be men, but for to match 15 knights that will I never undertake. Fie for shame, said Sir Tristram, do but your part. Nay, said Sir Dinadan, I will not thereof, but if ye will lend me your shield. For ye bear a shield of Cornwall, and for the cowardice that is named to the knights of Cornwall, by your shields ye be ever forborne. Nay, said Sir Tristram, I will not depart from my shield for her sake that gave it me. But one thing, said Sir Tristram, I promise thee, Sir Dinadan, but if thou wilt promise me to abide with me, here I shall slay thee, for I desire no more of thee but answer one night. And if thy heart will not serve thee, stand by and look upon me and them. Sir, said Sir Dinadan, I promise you to look upon and to do what I may to save myself, but I would I had not met with you. So then anon these 30 knights came fast by these 4 knights, and they were ware of them, and either of other. And so these 30 knights let them pass, for this cause, that they would not wrath them, if case be that they had ado with Sir Lancelot. And the 4 knights let them pass to this intent, that they would see and behold what they would do with Sir Lancelot. And so the 30 knights passed on and came by Sir Tristram and by Sir Dinadan. And then Sir Tristram cried on high, Lo, here is a knight against you for the love of Sir Lancelot. And they slew 2 with 1 spear and 10 with his sword. And then came in Sir Dinadan, and he did passing well. And so the 30 knights there went but 10 away, and they fled. All this battle saw Sir Bors de Ganis and his 3 fellows, and then they saw well it was the same knight that jousted with them at the bridge. Then they took their horses and rode unto Sir Tristram, and praised him and thanked him of his good deeds. And they all desired Sir Tristram to go with them to their lodging. And he said, Nay, he would not go to no lodging. Then they all 4 knights prayed him to tell them his name. Fair lords, said Sir Tristram, as at this time I will not tell you my name. Chapter 23. How Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan came to a lodging where they must joust with 2 knights. Then Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan rode forth their way till they came to the shepherds and to the herdmen, and there they asked them if they knew any lodging or harbour there nigh hand. Forsooth, sirs, said the herdmen, hereby is good lodging in a castle, but there is such a custom that there shall no knight be harboured but if he joust with 2 knights, and if he be but 1 knight he must joust with 2. And as ye be therein soon shall ye be matched. There is shrewd harbour, said Sir Dinadan, lodge where ye will, for I will not lodge there. Fie for shame, said Sir Tristram, are ye not a knight of the Table Round? Wherefore ye may not with your worship refuse your lodging. Not so, said the herdmen, for when ye be beaten and have the worse ye shall not be lodged there, and if ye beat them ye shall be well harboured. Ah, said Sir Dinadan, they are 2 sure knights. Then Sir Dinadan would not lodge there in no manner, but as Sir Tristram required him of his knighthood, and so they rode thither. And to make short tale, Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan smote them down both, and so they entered into the castle and had good cheer as they could think or devise. And when they were unarmed, and thought to be merry and in good rest, there came in at the gate Sir Palomides and Sir Gaheris, requiring to have the custom of the castle. What array is this? Said Sir Dinadan, I would have my rest. That may not be, said Sir Tristram. Now must we need defend the custom of this castle, insomuch as we have the better of the lords of this castle, and therefore, said Sir Tristram, needs must ye make you ready. In the devil's name, said Sir Dinadan, came I into your company. And so they made them ready. And Sir Gaheris encountered with Sir Tristram, and Sir Gaheris had a fall, and Sir Palomides encountered with Sir Dinadan, and Sir Dinadan had a fall. Then was it fall for fall. So then must they fight on foot. That would not Sir Dinadan, for he was so bruised of the fall that Sir Palomides gave him. Then Sir Tristram unlaced Sir Dinadan's helm, and prayed him to help him. I will not, said Sir Dinadan, for I am sore wounded of the 30 knights that we had but late ago to do withal. But ye fay, said Sir Dinadan unto Sir Tristram, as a madman and as a man that is out of his mind that would cast himself away, and I may curse the time that ever I saw you, for in all the world and not 2 such knights to be so wood as Sir Lancelot and ye Sir Tristram. For once I fell in the fellowship of Sir Lancelot, as I have done now with you, and he set me a work that a quarter of a year I kept my bed. Jesu defend me, said Sir Dinadan, from such 2 knights, and specially from your fellowship. Then, said Sir Tristram, I will fight with them both. Then Sir Tristram bade them come forth both, for I will fight with you. Then Sir Palomides and Sir Gaheris dressed them, and smote at them both. Then Dinadan smote at Sir Gaheris a stroke or 2, and turned from him. Nay, said Sir Palomides, it is too much shame for us 2 knights to fight with one. And then he did bid Sir Gaheris stand aside with that knight that hath no list to fight. Then they rode together and fought long. And at the last Sir Tristram doubled his strokes, and drove Sir Palomides aback more than 3 strides. And then by one ascent Sir Gaheris and Sir Dinadan went betwixt them, and departed them in sunder. And then by ascent of Sir Tristram they would have lodged together. But Sir Dinadan would not lodge in that castle. And then he cursed the time that ever he came in their fellowship, and so he took his horse and his harness, and departed. Then Sir Tristram prayed the lords of that castle to lend him a man to bring him to a lodging, and so they did, and overtook Sir Dinadan, and rode to their lodging 2 mile thence with a good man in a priory, and there they were well at ease. And that same night Sir Bors and Sir Bleoberis, and Sir Ector and Sir Driant, abode still in the same place thereas Sir Tristram fought with the 30 knights. And there they met with Sir Lancelot the same night, and had made promise to lodge with Sir Colgrevance the same night. Chapter 24. How Sir Tristram jousted with Sir Kay and Sir Sagramore le Desirous, and how Sir Gawain turned Sir Tristram from Morgan le Fay. But anon as a noble knight, Sir Lancelot, heard of the shield of Cornwall, then wist he well that it was Sir Tristram that fought with his enemies. And then Sir Lancelot praised Sir Tristram, and called him a man of most worship in the world. So there was a knight in that priory that hight Pellinore, and he desired to wit the name of Sir Tristram, but in no wise he could not. And so Sir Tristram departed and left Sir Dinadan in the priory, for he was so weary and so bruised that he might not ride. Then this knight, Sir Pellinore, said to Sir Dinadan, sit hen that ye will not tell me that knight's name, I will ride after him and make him to tell me his name, or he shall die therefore. Beware, Sir Knight, said Sir Dinadan, for when ye follow him ye shall repent it. So that knight, Sir Pellinore, rode after Sir Tristram and required him of jousts. Then Sir Tristram smote him down and wounded him through the shoulder, and so he passed on his way. And on the next day following Sir Tristram met with pursuivants, and they told him that there was made a great cry of tournament between King Carados of Scotland and the King of North Wales, and either should joust against other at the Castle of Maidens. And these pursuivants sought all the country after good knights, and in especial King Carados let make seeking for Sir Lancelot du Lake, and the King of Northgales let seek after Sir Tristram de Lyons. And at that time Sir Tristram thought to be at that joust, and so by adventure they met with Sir Kay, the seneschal, and Sir Sagramore le Desirous, and Sir Kay required Sir Tristram to joust, and Sir Tristram in a manner refused him, because he would not be hurt nor bruised against the great joust that should be before the Castle of Maidens, and therefore thought to repose him and to rest him. And always Sir Kay cried, Sir Knight of Cornwall, joust with me, or else yield thee to me as recreant. When Sir Tristram heard him say so, he turned to him, and then Sir Kay refused him and turned his back. Then Sir Tristram said, As I find thee I shall take thee. Then Sir Kay turned with evil will, and Sir Tristram smote Sir Kay down, and so he rode forth. Then Sir Sagramore the Desirous rode after Sir Tristram, and made him to joust with him, and there Sir Tristram smote down Sir Sagramore the Desirous from his horse, and rode his way. And the same day he met with a damosel that told him that he should win great worship of a knight adventurous that did much harm in all that country. When Sir Tristram heard her say so, he was glad to go with her to win worship. So Sir Tristram rode with a damosel a 6 mile, and then met him Sir Gawain. And therewithal Sir Gawain knew the damosel, that she was a damosel of Queen Morgan le Fay. Then Sir Gawain understood that she led at night to some mischief. Fair knight, said Sir Gawain, whither ride you now with that damosel? Sir, said Sir Tristram, I wot not whither I shall ride, but as the damosel will lead me. Sir, said Sir Gawain, ye shall not ride with her, for she and her lady did never good, but ill. And then Sir Gawain pulled out his sword and said, Damosel, but if thou tell me anon for what cause thou leadest this knight with thee, thou shalt die for it right anon. I know all your lady's treason, and yours. Mercy, Sir Gawain, she said, and if ye will save my life, I will tell you. Say on, said Sir Gawain, and thou shalt have thy life. Sir, she said, Queen Morgan le Fay, my lady, hath ordained 30 ladies to seek and espy after Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram, and by the trains of these ladies, who that may first meet any of these 2 knights, they should turn them unto Morgan le Fay's castle, saying that they should do deeds of worship. And if any of the 2 knights came there be 30 knights lying and watching in a tower to wait upon Sir Lancelot or upon Sir Tristram. Fie for shame, said Sir Gawain, that ever such false treason should be wrought or used in a queen, and a king's sister, and a king and queen's daughter. Chapter 25. How Sir Tristram and Sir Gawain rode to a fortin with the 30 knights, but they durst not come out. Sir, said Sir Gawain, will ye stand with me, and we will see the malice of these 30 knights. Sir, said Sir Tristram, go ye to them, and it please you, and ye shall see I will not fail you. For it is not long ago since I and a fellow met with 30 knights of that queen's fellowship, and God speed us so that we may win worship. So then Sir Gawain and Sir Tristram rode toward the castle where Morgan le Fay was, and ever Sir Gawain deemed well that he was Sir Tristram de Lions, because he heard that 2 knights had slain and beaten 30 knights. And when they came before the castle, Sir Gawain spake on high and said, Queen Morgan le Fay, send out your knights that ye have laid in a watch for Sir Lancelot and for Sir Tristram. Now, said Sir Gawain, I know your false treason, and through all places where that I ride men shall know of your false treason. And now let's see, said Sir Gawain, whether ye dare come out of your castle, ye 30 knights. Then the queen spake and all the 30 knights at once, and said, Sir Gawain, full well wottest thou what thou dost and sayest, for by God we know thee passing well, but all that thou speakest and dost, thou sayest it upon pride of that good knight that is there with thee. For there be some of us that know full well the hands of that knight over all well. And wit thou well, Sir Gawain, it is more for his sake than for thine that we will not come out of this castle. For wit ye well, Sir Gawain, the knight that beareth the arms of Cornwall, we know him and what he is. Then Sir Gawain and Sir Tristram departed and rode on their ways a day or 2 together, and there by adventure they met with Sir Kay and Sir Sagramore the Desirous. And then they were glad of Sir Gawain, and he of them, but they wist not what he was with the shield of Cornwall, but by deeming. And thus they rode together a day or 2. And then they were ware of Sir Breuse Saunce-Pite chasing a lady for to have slain her, for he had slain her paramour afore. Hold you all still, said Sir Gawain, and show none of you forth, and ye shall see me reward yonder false knight. For when he espy you, he is so well horsed that he will escape away. And then Sir Gawain rode betwixt Sir Breuse and the lady, and said, False knight, leave her, and have ado with me. When Sir Breuse saw no more but Sir Gawain, he feuded his spear, and Sir Gawain against him. And there Sir Breuse overthrew Sir Gawain. And then he rode over him, and overthwart him 20 times to have destroyed him. And when Sir Tristram saw him do so villainous a deed, he hurled out against him. And when Sir Breuse saw him with the shield of Cornwall, he knew him well that it was Sir Tristram. And then he fled, and Sir Tristram followed after him. And Sir Breuse Saunce-Pite was so horsed that he went his way quite, and Sir Tristram followed him long, for he would fain have been avenged upon him. And so when he had long chased him, he saw a fair well, and thither he rode to repose him, and tied his horse till a tree. Chapter 26. how Demoiselle Bragwain found Tristram sleeping by a well, and how she delivered letters to him from La Beale Isaud. And then he pulled off his helm and washed his visage in his hands, and so he fell asleep. In the meanwhile came a Deimos that had sought Sir Tristram many ways and days within this land. And when she came to the well, she looked upon him, and had forgotten him as in remembrance of Sir Tristram. But by his horse she knew him, that hight Pasbrule that had been Sir Tristram's horse many years. For when he was mad in the forest, Sir Fergus kept him. So this lady, Dame Bragwain, abode still till he was awake. So when she saw him wake, she saluted him, and he her again, for either knew other of old acquaintance. Then she told him how she had sought him long and broad, and there she told him how she had letters from Queen La Beale Isaud. Then anon Sir Tristram read them, and wit ye well he was glad, for therein was many a piteous complaint. Then Sir Tristram said, Lady Bragwain, ye shall ride with me till that tournament be done at the Castle of Maidens, and then shall bear letters and tidings with you. And then Sir Tristram took his horse and sought lodging, and there he met with a good ancient knight, and prayed him to lodge with him. Right so came Gouvernail unto Sir Tristram, that was glad of that lady. So this old knight's name was Sir Pellunes, and he told of the great tournament that should be at the Castle of Maidens. And there Sir Lancelot and 32 knights of his blood had ordained shields of Cornwall. And right, so there came one unto Sir Pellunes, and told him that Sir Persides de Blois was come home. Then that knight held up his hands, and thanked God of his coming home. And there Sir Pellunes told Sir Tristram that in 2 years he had not seen his son, Sir Persides. Sir, said Sir Tristram, I know your son well enough for a good knight. So on a time Sir Tristram and Sir Persides came to their lodging both at once, and so they unarmed them, and put upon them their clothing. And then these 2 knights each welcomed other. And when Sir Persides understood that Sir Tristram was of Cornwall, he said he was once in Cornwall, and there I jousted afore King Mark. And so it happed me at that time to overthrow 10 knights. And then came to me Sir Tristram de Lions and overthrew me, and took my lady away from me. And that shall I never forget, but I shall remember me and ever I see my time. Ah, said Sir Tristram, now I understand that ye hate Sir Tristram. What deem ye? Ween ye that Sir Tristram is not able to withstand your malice? Yes, said Sir Persides, I know well that Sir Tristram is a noble knight and a much better knight than I, yet shall I not owe him my goodwill. Right as they stood thus talking at a bay window of that castle, they saw many knights riding to and fro toward the tournament. And then was Sir Tristram ware of a likely knight riding upon a great black horse, and a black-covered shield. What knight is that, said Sir Tristram, with the black horse and the black shield? He seemeth a good knight. I know him well, said Sir Persides. He is one of the best knights of the world. Then is it Sir Lancelot? Said Tristram. Nay, said Sir Persides, it is Sir Palomides, that is yet unchristened. Chapter 27. How Sir Tristram had a fall with Sir Palomides, and how Lancelot overthrew 2 knights. Then they saw much people of the country salute Sir Palomides. And within a while after there came a squire of the castle, that told Sir Pellunes that was lord of that castle, that a knight with a black shield had smitten down 13 knights. Fair brother, said Sir Tristram unto Sir Persides, let us cast upon us cloaks, and let us go see the play. Not so, said Sir Persides, we will not go like knaves thither, but we will ride like men and good knights to withstand our enemies. So they armed them, and took their horses and great spears, and thither they went there as many knights assayed themselves before the tournament. And anon Sir Palomides or Sir Persides, and then he sent a squire unto him and said, Go thou to the yonder knight with a green shield and therein a line of gold, and say him I require him to joust with me, and tell him that my name is Sir Palomides. When Sir Persides understood that request of Sir Palomides, he made him ready, and there anon they met together, but Sir Persides had a fall. Then Sir Tristram dressed him to be revenged upon Sir Palomides, and that saw Sir Palomides that was ready, and so was not Sir Tristram, and took him an advantage, and smote him over his horse's tail, when he had no spear in his rest. Then stirred up Sir Tristram, and took his horse lightly, and was wroth out of measure, and sore ashamed of that fall. Then Sir Tristram sent unto Sir Palomides by Gouvernail, and prayed him to joust with him at his request. Nay, said Sir Palomides, as at this time I will not joust with that knight, for I know him better than he weeneth. And if he be wroth, he may ride it to morn at the Castle of Maidens, where he may see me and many other knights. With that came Sir Dinadan, and when he saw Sir Tristram wroth, he listened not to jape. Lo, said Sir Dinadan, here may a man prove. Be a man never so good, yet may he have a fall, and he was never so wise, but he might be overseen, and he rideth well that never fell. So Sir Tristram was passing wroth, and said to Sir Persides and to Sir Dinadan, I will revenge me. Right so as they stood talking there came by Sir Tristram a likely knight riding passing soberly and heavily with a black shield. What knight is that? Said Sir Tristram unto Sir Persides. I know him well, said Sir Persides, for his name is Sir Brian of North Wales. So he passed on among other knights of North Wales. And there came in Sir Lancelot du Lake with a shield of the arms of Cornwall, and he sent a squire unto Sir Briant, and required him to joust with him. Well, said Sir Briant, sithen I am required to joust, I will do what I may. And there Sir Lancelot smote down Sir Brian from his horse a great fall. And then Sir Tristram marvelled what knight he was that bare the shield of Cornwall. Whatsoever he be, said Sir Dinadan, I warrant you he is of King Ban's blood, the which be knights of the most noble prowess in the world, for to account so many for so many. Then there came 2 knights of North Gales, that one hight Hugh de la Mornaine, and the other Sir Madoc de la Mornaine, and they challenged Sir Lancelot foot-hot. Sir Lancelot not refusing them, but made him ready. With one spear he smote them down both over their horses' croups, and so Sir Lancelot rode his way. By the good Lord, said Sir Tristram, he is a good knight that beareth the shield of Cornwall, and meseemeth he rideth in the best manner that ever I saw knight ride. Then the king of North Gales rode unto Sir Palomides, and prayed him heartily for his sake to joust with that knight that hath done us of North Gales despite. Sir, said Sir Palomides, I am full loath to have ado with that knight, and cause why is, for as to morn the great tournament shall be, and therefore I will keep myself fresh by my will. Nay, said the king of North Gales, I pray you require him of jousts. Sir, said Sir Palomides, I will joust at your request, and require that knight to joust with me, and often I have seen a man have a fall at his own request. Then Sir Palomides sent unto Sir Lancelot a squire, and required him of jousts. Fair fellow, said Sir Lancelot, tell me thy lord's name. Say, said the squire, my lord's name is Sir Palomides, the good knight. In good hour, said Sir Lancelot, for there is no knight that I saw this 7 years that I had liefer ado withal than with him. And so I the knights made them ready with 2 great spears. Nay, said Sir Dinadan, ye shall see that Sir Palomides will quit him right well. It may be so, said Sir Tristram, but I undertake that knight with the shield of Cornwall shall give him a fall. I believe it not, said Sir Dinadan. Right so they spurred their horses and feuded their spears, and either hit other, and Sir Palomides brake a spear upon Sir Lancelot, and he set and moved not. But Sir Lancelot smote him so lightly that he made his horse to avoid the saddle, and the stroke brake his shield and the hauberk, and had he not fallen he had been slain. How now, said Sir Tristram, I wist well by the manner of their riding both that Sir Palomides should have a fall. Right so Sir Lancelot rode his way, and rode to a well to drink and to repose him, and they of North Gales espied him whither he rode, and then there followed him 12 knights to have mischief him, for this cause that upon the morn of the tournament of the Castle of Maidens that he should not win the victory. So they came upon Sir Lancelot suddenly, and unknit he might put upon him his helm and take his horse, but they were in hands with him. And then Sir Lancelot get his spear, and rode through them, and there he slew a knight and brake a spear in his body. Then he drew his sword and smote upon the right hand and upon the left hand, so that within a few strokes he had slain other 3 knights, and the remnant that abode he wounded them sore that did abide. Thus Sir Lancelot escaped from his enemies of North Wales, and then Sir Lancelot rode his way till a friend, and lodged him till on the morn. For he would not the first day have ado in the tournament because of his great labour. And on the first day he was with King Arthur there he was set on high upon a scaffold to discern who was best worthy of his deeds. So Sir Lancelot was with King Arthur, and jousted not the first day. Now turn we unto Sir Tristram de Lyons, that commanded Gouvernail, his servant, to ordain him a black shield with none other remembrance therein. And so Sir Persides and Sir Tristram departed from their host Sir Pellunes, and they rode early toward the tournament, and then they drew them to King Corrado's side of Scotland, and anon knights began the field what of King Northgales' part, and what of King Corrado's part, and there began great party. Then there was hurling and rashing. Right so came in Sir Persides and Sir Tristram, and so they did fare that they put the king of Northgalis aback. Then came in Sir Bleoberis de Gonis and Sir Gaeris with them of Northgales, and then was Sir Persides smitten down and almost slain, for more than 40 horsemen went over him. For Sir Bleoberis did great deeds of arms, and Sir Gaheris failed him not. When Sir Tristram beheld them, and saw them do such deeds of arms, he marvelled what they were. Also Sir Tristram thought shame that Sir Persides was so done to, and then he get a great spear in his hand, and then he rode to Sir Gaeris and smote him down from his horse. And then was Sir Bleoberis wroth, and get a spear and rode against Sir Tristram in great ire, and there Sir Tristram met with him, and smote Sir Bleoberis from his horse. So then the king with the 100 knights was wroth, and he horsed Sir Bleoberis and Sir Gaheris again, and there began a great medley. And ever Sir Tristram held them passing short, and ever Sir Bleoberis was passing busy upon Sir Tristram. And there came Sir Dinadan against Sir Tristram, and Sir Tristram gave him such a buffet that he swooned in his saddle. Then anon Sir Dinadan came to Sir Tristram and said, Sir, I know thee better than thou weenest, but here I promise thee my troth I will never come against thee more, for I promise thee that sword of thine shall never come on mine helm. With that came Sir Bleoberis, and Sir Tristram gave him such a buffet that down he laid his head, and then he caught him so sore by the helm that he pulled him under his horse's feet. And then King Arthur blew to lodging. Then Sir Tristram departed his pavilion, and Sir Dinadan rode with him. And Sir Persides and King Arthur then, and the kings upon both parties, marvelled what knight that was with the black shield. Many said their advice, and some knew him for Sir Tristram, and held their peace and would naught say. So that first day King Arthur and all the kings and lords that were judges gave Sir Tristram the prize, howbeit they knew him not, but named him the knight with the black shield. Chapter 30. How Sir Tristram returned against King Arthur's party, because he saw Sir Palomides on that party. Then upon the morn Sir Palomides returned from the king of Northgalis, and rode to King Arthur's side, where was King Carados, and the king of Ireland, and Sir Lancelot's kin, and Sir Gawain's kin. So Sir Palomides sent the damosel unto Sir Tristram, that he sent to seek him when he was out of his mind in the forest. And this damosel asked Sir Tristram what he was, and what was his name. As for that, said Sir Tristram, tell Sir Palomides ye shall not wit as at this time unto the time I have broken 2 spears upon him. But let him wit thus much, said Sir Tristram, that I am the same knight that he smote down in over evening at the tournament, and tell him plainly on what party that Sir Palomides be I will be of the contrary party. Sir, said the Damos, ye shall understand that Sir Palomides will be on King Arthur's side, where the most noble knights of the world be. In the name of God, said Sir Tristram, then will I be with the king of Northgales, because Sir Palomides will be on King Arthur's side, and else I would not but for his sake. So when King Arthur was come they blew unto the field, and then there began a great party, and so King Carados jousted with the king of the 100 knights, and their King Carados had a fall. Then was there hurling and rushing, and right so came in knights of King Arthur's, and they bare back the king of Northgalis knights. Then Sir Tristram came in, and began so roughly and so bigly that there was none might withstand him, and thus Sir Tristram jit long. And at the last Sir Tristram fell among the fellowship of King Ban, and there fell upon him Sir Bors de Ganis, and Sir Ector de Maris, and Sir Blamore de Ganis, and many other knights. And then Sir Tristram smote on the right hand and on the left hand, that all lords and ladies spake of his noble deeds. But at the last Sir Tristram should have had the worse had not the king with the 100 knights been. And then he came with his fellowship and rescued Sir Tristram, and brought him away from those knights that bear the shields of Cornwall. And then Sir Tristram saw another fellowship by themselves, and there were 40 knights together, and Sir Kay, the seneschal, was their governor. Then Sir Tristram rode in amongst them, and there he smote down Sir Kay from his horse, and there he fared among those knights like a greyhound among cunnies. Then Sir Lancelot found a knight that was sore wounded upon the head. Sir, said Sir Lancelot, who wounded you so sore? Sir, he said, a knight that beareth a black shield, and I may curse the time that ever I met with him, for he is a devil and no man. So Sir Lancelot departed from him, and thought to meet with Sir Tristram, and so he rode with his sword drawn in his hand to seek Sir Tristram. And then he espied him how he hurled here and there, and at every stroke Sir Tristram well nigh smote down a knight. O mercy, Jesu, said the king, sit the times I bear arms, so I never know knight do so marvellous deeds of arms. And if I should set upon this knight, said Sir Lancelot to himself, I did shame to myself. And therewithal Sir Lancelot put up his sword. And then the king with 100 knights and 100 more of North Wales set upon the 20 of Sir Lancelot's kin. And they 20 knights held them ever together as wild swine, and none would fail other. And so when Sir Tristram beheld and the bless of these 20 knights, he marvelled of their good deeds, for he saw by their fare and by their rule that they had liefer die than avoid the field. Now, Jesu, said Sir Tristram, well may he be valiant and full of prowess that is such a sort of noble knights under his kin, and full like is he to be a noble man that is their leader and governor. He meant it by Sir Lancelot du Lake. So when Sir Tristram had beholden them long, he thought shame to see 200 knights battering upon 20 knights. Then Sir Tristram rode unto the king with 100 knights and said, So, leave your fighting with those 20 knights, for ye win no worship of them. Ye be so many and they so few. And wit ye well they will not out of the field, I see by their cheer and countenance, and worship get ye none, and ye slay them. Therefore leave your fighting with them. For I, to increase my worship, I will ride to the 20 knights and help them with all my might and power. Nay, said the king with 100 knights, ye shall not do so. Now I see your courage and courtesy, I will withdraw my knights for your pleasure. For evermore a good knight will favour another, and like will draw to like. Chapter 31. How Sir Tristram found Palomides by a well, and brought him with him to his lodging. Then the king with the 100 knights withdrew his knights. And all this while, and long tofore, Sir Lancelot had watched upon Sir Tristram with a very purpose to have fellowship with him. And then suddenly Sir Tristram, Sir Dinadan, and Gouvernail, his man, rode their way into the forest, that no man perceived where they went. So then King Arthur blew unto lodging, and gave the king of Northgales a prize, because Sir Tristram was upon his side. Then Sir Lancelot rode here and there, so would his lion that fouted his fill, because he had lost Sir Tristram, and so he returned unto King Arthur. And then in all the field was a noise that with the wind it might be heard 2 mile thence, how the lords and ladies cried, The knight with the black shield hath won the field. Alas, said King Arthur, where is that knight become? It is shame to all those in the field so to let him escape away from you. But with gentleness and courtesy ye might have brought him unto me to the castle of maidens. Then the noble King Arthur went unto his knights and comforted them in the best wise that he could, and said, My fair fellows, be not dismayed, howbeit ye have lost a field this day. And many were hurt and sore wounded, and many were whole. My fellows, said King Arthur, look that ye be of good cheer, for to morn I will be in the field with you and revenge you of your enemies. So that night King Arthur and his knights reposed themselves. The damosel that came from La Beale Isoud unto Sir Tristram, all the while the tournament was doing, she was with Queen Guinevere, and ever the queen asked her for what cause she came into that country. Madam, she answered, I come for none other cause but for my lady La Beale Isoud to wit of your welfare. For in no wise she would not tell the queen that she came for Sir Tristram's sake. So this lady, Dame Bragwaine, took her leave of Queen Guinevere, and she rode after Sir Tristram. And as she rode through the forest she heard a great cry. Then she commanded her squire to go into the forest to wit what was that noise. And so he came to a well, and they found a knight bound in till a tree crying as he had been wood, and his horse and his harness standing by him. And when he espied that squire, therewith he abraid and brake himself loose, and took his sword in his hand, and ran to have slain the squire. Then he took his horse and fled all that ever he might unto Dame Bragwaine, and told her his adventure. Then she rode unto Sir Tristram's pavilion, and told Sir Tristram what adventure she had found in the forest. Alas, said Sir Tristram, upon my head there is some good knight at mischief. Then Sir Tristram took his horse and his sword and rode thither, and there he heard how the knight complained unto himself and said, Ay, woeful knight Sir Palomides, what misadventure befalleth me, that does him defoire with faucet and treason, through Sir Bors and Sir Ector. Alas, he said, why live I so long? And then he get his sword in his hands, and made many strange signs and tokens. And so through his raging he threw his sword into that fountain. Then Sir Palomides wailed and wrang his hands. And at the last of pure sorrow he ran into that fountain, over his belly, and sought after his sword. Then Sir Tristram saw that, and ran upon Sir Palomides, and held him in his arms fast. What art thou, said Palomides, that holdeth me so? Nay, said he, I will go to the king with the 100 knights, For he rescued me from Sir Bors de Ganis, and Sir Ector, and else had I been slain traitorously. Sir Tristram said him such kind words that Sir Palomides went with him to his lodging. Then Gouvernail went to fore, and charged Dame Bragwaine to go out of the way to her lodging, and bid ye Sir Persides that he make him no quarrels. And so they rode together till they came to Sir Tristram's pavilion, and there Sir Palomides had all the cheer that might be had all that night. But in no wise Sir Palomides might not know what was Sir Tristram. And so after supper they yetted to rest, and Sir Tristram for great travail slept till it was day. And Sir Palomides might not sleep for anguish. And in the dawning of the day he took his horse privily, and rode his way unto Sir Gaheris and unto Sir Sagramore the Desirous, where they were in their pavilions. For they three were fellows at the beginning of the tournament. And then upon the morn the king blew unto the tournament upon the third day. Chapter 32. How Sir Tristram smote down Sir Palomides, and how he jousted with King Arthur, and other feats. So the king of Northgales and the king with the 100 knights, they two encountered with King Carados and with the king of Ireland. And there the king with the 100 knights smote down King Carados, and the king of Northgales smote down the king of Ireland. With that came in Sir Palomides, and when he came he made great work, for by his indented shield he was well known. So came in King Arthur, and did great deeds of arms together, and put the king of Northgales and the king with the 100 knights to the worse. With this came in Sir Tristram with his black shield, and anon he jousted with Sir Palomides, and there by fine force Sir Tristram smote Sir Palomides over his horse's croup. Then King Arthur cried, Knight with the black shield, make thee ready to me. And in the same wise Sir Tristram smote King Arthur. And then by force of King Arthur's knights the king and Sir Palomides were horsed again. Then King Arthur with a great eager heart he gat a spear in his hand, and there upon the one side he smote Sir Tristram over his horse. Then foot-hot Sir Palomides came upon Sir Tristram, as he was upon foot, to have overridden him. Then Sir Tristram was ware of him, and there he stooped aside, and with great ire he gat him by the arm, and pulled him down from his horse. Then Sir Palomides lightly arose, and then they dashed together mightily with their swords, and many kings, queens, and lords stood and beheld them. And at the last Sir Tristram smote Sir Palomides upon the helm 3 mighty strokes, and at every stroke that he gave him he said, This for Sir Tristram's sake. With that Sir Palomides fell to the earth grovelling. Then came the king with the 100 knights, and brought Sir Tristram an horse, and so was he horse again. By then was Sir Palomides horsed, and with great ire he jousted upon Sir Tristram with his spear as it was in the rest, and gave him a great dash with his sword. Then Sir Tristram avoided his spear, and get him by the neck with his both hands, and pulled him clean out of his saddle. And so he bare him afore him the length of 10 spears, and then in the presence of them all he let him fall at his adventure. Then Sir Tristram was ware of King Arthur with a naked sword in his hand, and with his spear Sir Tristram ran upon King Arthur. And then King Arthur boldly abode him, and with his sword he smote to his spear, and therewithal Sir Tristram stonied. And so King Arthur gave him 3 or 4 strokes, or he might get out his sword, and at the last Sir Tristram drew his sword and assailed other passing hard. With that the great press departed. Then Sir Tristram rode here and there and did his great pain, that 11 of the good knights of the blood of King Ban, that was of Sir Lancelot's kin, that day Sir Tristram smote down, that all the estates marvelled of his great deeds, and all cried upon the knight with the black shield. Chapter 33. How Sir Lancelot hurt Sir Tristram, and how after Sir Tristram smote down Sir Palomides. Then this cry was so large that Sir Lancelot heard it, and then he get a great spear in his hand, and came towards the cry. Then Sir Lancelot cried, The knight with the black shield, make thee ready to joust with me. When Sir Tristram heard him say so, he gat his spear in his hand, and either abashed down their heads, and came together as thunder, and Sir Tristram's spear brake in pieces. And Sir Lancelot by malfortune struck Sir Tristram on the side a deep wound nigh to the death. But yet Sir Tristram avoided not his saddle, and so the spear brake. Therewithal Sir Tristram that was wounded gat out his sword, and he rushed to Sir Lancelot, and gave him 3 great strokes upon the helm that the fire sprang thereout. And Sir Lancelot abashed his head lowly toward his saddle bow. And therewithal Sir Tristram departed from the field, for he felt him so wounded that he weened he should have died. And Sir Dinadan espied him, and followed him into the forest. Then Sir Lancelot abode, and did many marvellous deeds. So when Sir Tristram was departed by the forest side, he alighted, and unlaced his harness, and freshed his wound. Then weened Sir Dinadan that he should have died. Nay, nay, said Sir Tristram, Dinadan never dread thee, for I am heart whole, and of this wound I shall soon be whole, by the mercy of God. By that Sir Dinadan was where came Palomides riding straight upon them. And then Sir Tristram was where that Sir Palomides came to have destroyed him. And so Sir Dinadan gave him warning, and said, Sir Tristram, my lord, ye are so wounded that ye may not have ado with him. Therefore I will ride against him and do to him what I may, and if I be slain ye may pray for my soul, and in the meanwhile ye may withdraw you and go into the castle, or in the forest, that he shall not meet with you. Sir Tristram smiled and said, I thank you, Sir Dinadan, of your goodwill, but ye shall with that I am able to handle him. And then anon hastily he armed him, and took his horse, and a great spear in his hand, and said to Sir Dinadan, a Jew, and rode towards Sir Palomides a soft pace. Then when Sir Palomides saw that, he made countenance to amend his horse, but he did it for this cause, for he abode Sir Gaheris that came after him. And when he was come he rode towards Sir Tristram. Then Sir Tristram sent unto Sir Palomides, and required him to joust with him, and if he smote down Sir Palomides he would do no more to him. And if it so happened that Sir Palomides smote down Sir Tristram, he bade him do his utterance. So they were accorded. Then they met together, and Sir Tristram smote down Sir Palomides that he had a grievous fall, so that he lay still as he had been dead. And then Sir Tristram ran upon Sir Gaheris, and he would not have jousted, but whether he would or not Sir Tristram smote him over his horse's croup, that he lay still as though he had been dead. And then Sir Tristram rode his way, and left Sir Besides' squire within the pavilions. And Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan rode to an old knight's place to lodge them. And that old knight had 5 sons at the tournament, for whom he prayed God heartily for their coming home. And so, as the French book saith, they came home all 5 well beaten. But Sir Lancelot would neither for king, queen, nor knight have the prize, but where the cry was cried through the field, Sir Lancelot hath won the field this day. Sir Lancelot let make another cry contrary. Sir Tristram hath won the field, for he began first, and last he hath endued, and so he done the first day, the second, and the third day. Then all the estates and degrees high and low said of Sir Lancelot great worship, for the honour that he did unto Sir Tristram. And for that honour doing to Sir Tristram he was at that time more praised and renowned than he had overthrown 500 knights, and all the people wholly for this gentleness. First the estates both high and low, and after the commonalty cried at once, Sir Lancelot hath won the field, whosoever say nay. Then was Sir Lancelot wroth and ashamed, and so the whither he rode to King Arthur. Alas, said the king, we are all dismayed that Sir Tristram is thus departed from us. By God, said King Arthur, he is one of the noblest knights that ever I saw hold spear or sword in hand, and the most courteous knight in his fighting. For full hard I saw him, said King Arthur, when he smote Sir Palomides upon the helm thrice, that he abashed his helm with his strokes, and also he said, Here is a stroke for Sir Tristram, and thus thrice he said. Then King Arthur, Sir Lancelot, and Sir Dodinas le Savage took their horses to seek Sir Tristram, and by the means of Sir Besides he had told King Arthur where Sir Tristram was in his pavilion. But when they came there, Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan were gone. Then King Arthur and Sir Lancelot were heavy, and returned again to the Castle of Maidens, making great dole for the hurt of Sir Tristram and his sudden departing. So God me help, said King Arthur, I am more heavy that I cannot meet with him than for all the hurts that all my knights have had at the tournament. Right so came Sir Gaheris, and told King Arthur how Sir Tristram had smitten down Sir Palomides, and it was at Sir Palomides' own request. Alas, said King Arthur, there was great dishonour to Sir Palomides, inasmuch as Sir Tristram was so wounded, and now may we all, kings, and knights, and men of worship, say that Sir Tristram may be called a noble knight, and one of the best knights that ever I saw the days of my life. For I will that ye all, kings and knights, know, said King Arthur, that I never saw a knight do so marvellously as he hath done these 3 days, for he was the first that began and that longest held on, save this last day. And though he was hurt, it was a manly adventure of 2 noble knights, and when 2 noble men encounter needs must the one have the worse, like as God will suffer at that time. As for me, said Sir Lancelot, for all the lands that ever my father left me I would not have hurt Sir Tristram and I had known him at that time. That I hurt him was for I saw not his shield. For when I had seen his black shield, I would not have meddled with him for many causes. For lady did as much for me as ever did knight, and that is well known that he had to do with 30 knights, and no help save Sir Dinadan. And one thing shall I promise, said Sir Lancelot, Sir Palomides shall repent it as in his unkindly dealing for to follow that noble knight that I by mishap hurted thus. Sir Lancelot said all the worship that might be said by Sir Tristram. Then King Arthur made a great feast to all that would come. And thus we let pass King Arthur, and a little we will turn unto Sir Palomides, that after he had a fall of Sir Tristram, he was nigh-hand erringed out of his wit for despite of Sir Tristram, and so he followed him by adventure. And as he came by a river, in his woodness he would have made his horse to have leapt over, and the horse failed footing and fell in the river, wherefore Sir Palomides was adread lest he should have been drowned. And then he avoided his horse, and swam to the land, and let his horse go down by adventure. Chapter 35. How Palomides came to the castle where Sir Tristram was, and of the quest that Sir Lancelot and 10 knights made for Sir Tristram. And when he came to the land, he took off his harness, and set roaring and crying as a man out of his mind. Right so came a damosel even by Sir Palomides, that was sent from Sir Gawain and his brother unto Sir Mordred, that lay sick in the same place with that old knight where Sir Tristram was. For, as the French book saith, Sir Persides hurt so Sir Mordred 10 days afore, and had it not been for the love of Sir Gawain and his brother, Sir Persides had slain Sir Mordred. And so this damosel came by Sir Palomides, and she and he had language together, the which pleased neither of them. And so the damosel rode her ways till she came to the old knight's place, and there she told that old knight how she met with the woodest knight by adventure that ever she met withal. What bare he in his shield? Said Sir Tristram. It was indented with white and black, said the damosel. Ah, said Sir Tristram, that was Sir Palomides, the good knight. For well I know him, said Sir Tristram, for one of the best knights living in this realm. Then that old knight took a little hackney, and rode for Sir Palomides, and brought him unto his own manor, and full well knew Sir Tristram Sir Palomides. But he said but little, for at that time Sir Tristram was walking upon his feet, and well amended of his hurts. And always when Sir Palomides saw Sir Tristram, he would behold him full marvellously, and ever him seemed that he had seen him. Then would he say unto Sir Dinadan, and ever I may meet with Sir Tristram, he shall not escape mine hands. I marvel, said Sir Dinadan, that ye boast behind Sir Tristram, for it is but late that he was in your hands, and ye in his hands. Why would ye not hold him when ye had him? For I saw myself twice or thrice that ye get but little worship of Sir Tristram. Then was Sir Palomides ashamed. So leave with him a little while in the old castle with the old knight Sir Daraz. Now shall we speak of King Arthur, that said to Sir Lancelot, Had not ye been, we had not lost Sir Tristram, for he was here daily unto the time ye met with him, and in an evil time, said Arthur, ye encountered with him. My lord Arthur, said Lancelot, ye put upon me that I should be cause of his departition. God knoweth it was against my will. But when men be hot in deeds of arms, oft they hurt their friends as well as their foes. And my lord, said Sir Lancelot, ye shall understand that Sir Tristram is a man that I am loath to offend, for he hath done for me more than ever I did for him as yet. But then Sir Lancelot may bring forth a book. And then Sir Lancelot said, Here we are 10 knights that will swear upon a book never to rest one night, where we rest another this 12-month, until that we find Sir Tristram. And as for me, said Sir Lancelot, I promise you upon this book that an I may meet with him, either with fairness or foulness I shall bring him to this court, or else I shall die therefore. And the names of these 10 knights that had undertaken this quest were the following. First was Sir Lancelot, Sir Ector de Maris, Sir Bors de Ganis, and Bleoberis, and Sir Blamore de Ganis, and Lucan the butler, Sir Owain, Sir Galahad Lionel, and Galidin. So these 10 noble knights departed from the court of King Arthur, and so they rode upon their quest together until they came to a cross where departed for ways, and there departed the fellowship in 4 to seek Sir Tristram. And as Sir Lancelot rode by adventure, he met with Dame Bragwain, that was sent into that country to seek Sir Tristram, and she fled as fast as a palfrey might go. So Sir Lancelot met with her and asked her why she fled. Ah, fair knight, said Dame Bragwain, I flee for dread of my life, for here followeth me Sir Breuse Saunce-Pite to slay me. Hold you nigh me, said Sir Lancelot. Then when Sir Lancelot saw Sir Breuse Saunce-Pite, Sir Lancelot cried unto him, and said, False knight, destroyer of ladies and damosels, now thy last days be come. When Sir Brieux Saunce-Pite saw Sir Lancelot's shield, he knew it well, for at that time he bare not the arms of Cornwall, but he bare his own shield. Now will we speak of Sir Lucan the butler, that by fortune he came riding to the same place there as was Sir Tristram, and then he came in none other intent but to ask harbour. Then the porter asked what was his name. Tell your lord that my name is Sir Lucan, the butler, a knight of the Round Table. So the porter went unto Sir Daraz, lord of the place, and told him who was there to ask harbour. Nay, nay, said Sir Diname, that was nephew to Sir Daraz, say him that he shall not be lodged here, but let him with that I, Sir Diname, will meet with him anon, and bid him make him ready. So Sir Diname came forth on horseback, and there they met together with spears, and Sir Lucan smote down Sir Diname over his horse's croup, and then he fled into that place, and Sir Lucan rode after him, and asked after him many times. Then Sir Dinadan said to Sir Tristram, It is shame to see the lord's cousin of this place defoiled. Abide, said Sir Tristram, and I shall redress it. And in the meanwhile Sir Dinadan was on horseback, and he jousted with Lucan the butler, and there Sir Lucan smote Dinadan through the thick of the thigh, and so he rode his way. And Sir Tristram was wroth that Sir Dinadan was hurt, and followed after, and thought to avenge him. And within a while he overtook Sir Lucan, and bade him turn, and so they met together, so that Sir Tristram hurt Sir Lucan passing sore, and gave him a fall. With that came Sir Gawain, a gentle knight, and when he saw Sir Lucan so hurt, he called Sir Tristram to joust with him. Fair knight, said Sir Tristram, tell me your name, I require you. Sir knight, wit ye well my name is Sir Gawain le Fils de Roy-Urien. Ah, said Sir Tristram, by my will I would not have ado with you at no time. Ye shall not so, said Sir Gawain, but ye shall have ado with me. And then Sir Tristram saw none other boat, but rode against him, and overthrew Sir Gawain and hurt him in the side, and so he departed unto his lodging again. And when Sir Dinadan understood that Sir Tristram had hurt Sir Lucan, he would have ridden after Sir Lucan for to have slain him, but Sir Tristram would not suffer him. Then Sir Gawain led Ordain in horse litter, and brought Sir Lucan to the abbey of Gannis, and the castle thereby hight the castle of Gannis, of the which Sir Bleoberis was lord. And at that castle Sir Lancelot promised all his fellows to meet in the quest of Sir Tristram. So when Sir Tristram was come to his lodging, there came a damosel that told Sir Daraz that 3 of his sons were slain at that tournament, and 2 grievously wounded, that they were never like to help themselves. And all this was done by a noble knight that bare the black shield, and that was he that bare the prize. Then came there one and told Sir Daraz that the same knight was within, him that bare the black shield. Then Sir Daraz yede unto Sir Tristram's chamber, and there he found his shield, and showed it to the damosel. Ah, sir, said the damosel, that same is he that slew your 3 sons. Then without any tarrying Sir Daraz put Sir Tristram, and Sir Palomides, and Sir Dinadan, within a strong prison, and there Sir Tristram was like to have died of great sickness. And every day Sir Palomides would reprove Sir Tristram of old hate betwixt them. And ever Sir Tristram spake fair, and said little. But when Sir Palomides saw the falling of sickness of Sir Tristram, then was he heavy for him, and comforted him in all the best wise he could. And as the French book saith, there came 40 knights to Sir Daraz that were of his own kin, and they would have slain Sir Tristram and his 2 fellows. But Sir Daraz would not suffer that, but kept them in prison, and meat and drink they had. So Sir Tristram endured their great pain, for sickness had undertaken him, and that is the greatest pain a prisoner may have. For all the while a prisoner may have his health of body, he may endure under the mercy of God and in hope of good deliverance. But when sickness toucheth the prisoner's body, then may a prisoner say all wealth is him bereft, and then he hath cause to wail and to weep. Right so did Sir Tristram when sickness had undertaken him, for then he took such sorrow that he had almost slain himself. Chapter 37. How King Mark was sorry for the good renown of Sir Tristram. Some of King Arthur's knights jousted with knights of Cornwall. Now will we speak, and leave Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, and Sir Dinadan in prison, and speak we of other knights that sought out for Sir Tristram many divers parts of this land. And some yet into Cornwall, and by adventure Sir Gaheris, nephew unto King Arthur, came unto King Mark, and there he was well received and set at King Mark's own table, and ate of his own mess. Then King Mark asked Sir Gaheris what tidings there were in the realm of Logris. Sir, said Sir Gaheris, the king reigneth as a noble knight, And now but late there was a great joust and tournament as ever I saw any in the realm of Logres, and the most noble knights were at that jousts. But there was one knight that did marvellously 3 days, and he bare a black shield, and of all knights that ever I saw he proved the best knight. Then said King Mark, that was Sir Lancelot or Sir Palomides the Paynim. Not so, said Sir Gaheris, for both Sir Lancelot and Sir Palomides were on the contrary party against the knight with the black shield. Then was it Sir Tristram, said the king. Yeah, said Sir Gaheris. And therewithal the king smote down his head, and in his heart he feared so that Sir Tristram should get him such worship in the realm of Logres way through, that he himself should not be able to withstand him. Thus Sir Gaheris had great cheer with King Mark, and with Queen La Beale Isoud, the which was glad of Sir Gaheris' words, for well she wist by his deeds and manners that it was Sir Tristram. And then the king made a feast royal, and to that feast came Sir Uwaine le Fise de Royurian, and some called him Uwaine le Blanchemains. And this Sir Uwaine challenged all the knights of Cornwall. Then was the king wood wroth that he had no knights to answer him. Then Sir Andrade, nephew unto King Mark, leapt up and said, I will encounter with Sir Uwaine. Then he yetted and armed him and horsed him in the best manner. And there Sir Uwaine met with Sir Andrade, and smote him down that he swooned on the earth. Then was King Mark sorry and wroth out of measure, that he had no knight to revenge his nephew, Sir Andrade. So the king called unto him Sir Dinas, the seneschal, and prayed him for his sake to take upon him to joust with Sir Uwaine. Sir, said Sir Dinas, I am full loath to have ado with any knight of the Round Table. Yet, said the king, for my love take upon thee to joust. So Sir Dinas made him ready, and anon they encountered together with great spears, but Sir Dinas was overthrown, horse and man, a great fall. Who was wroth but King Mark? Alas, he said, have I no knight that will encounter with yonder knight? Sir, said Sir Gaheris, for your sake I will joust. So Sir Gaheris made him ready, and when he was armed he rode into the field. And when Sir Uwaine saw Sir Gaheris' shield, he rode to him and said, Sir, ye do not your part. For, sir, the first time ye were made knight of the Round Table, ye swear that ye should not have ado with your fellowship wittingly. And pardie, Sir Gaheris, ye knew me well enough by my shield, and so do I know you by your shield. And though ye would break your oath, I would not break mine. For there is not one here, nor ye, that shall think I am afeard of you, but I durst right well have ado with you, and yet we be sister sons. Then was Sir Gaheris ashamed, and so therewithal every knight went their way, and Sir Uwaine rode into the country. Then King Mark armed him, and took his horse and his spear, with a squire with him. And then he rode afore Sir Uwaine, and suddenly at a gap he ran upon him as he that was not ware of him, and there he smote him almost through the body, and there left him. So within a while there came Sir Kay and found Sir Uwaine, and asked him how he was hurt. I wot not, said Sir Uwaine, why nor wherefore, but by treason I am sure I get this hurt. For here came a knight suddenly upon me, or that I was ware, and suddenly hurt me. Then there was come Sir Andrade to seek King Mark. Thou traitor knight, said Sir Kay, and I wis it were thou that dost traitliest hurt this noble knight, thou shouldst never pass my hands. Sir, said Sir Andrade, I did never hurt him, and that I will report me to himself. Fie on you, false knight, said Sir Kay, for ye of Cornwall are naught worth. So Sir Kay made carry Sir Uwaine to the Abbey of the Black Cross, and there he was healed. And then Sir Gaheris took his leave of King Mark, but or he departed, he said, Sir King, ye did a foul shame unto you and your court, when ye banished Sir Tristram out of this country, for ye needed not to have doubted no knight an he had been here. And so he departed. Chapter 38 of the treason of King Mark, and how Sir Gaheris smote him down and Andrade his cousin. Then there came Sir Kay, the seneschal, unto King Mark, and they had good cheer showing outward. Now, fair lords, said he, will ye prove any adventure in the forest of Morris, in the which I know well is as hard an adventure as I know any? Sir, said Sir Kay, I will prove it. And Sir Gaheris said he would be avis, for King Mark was ever full of treason. And therewithal Sir Gaheris departed and rode his way. And by the same way that Sir Kay should ride, he laid him down to rest, charging his squire to wait upon Sir Kay, and warn me when he cometh. So within a while Sir Kay came riding that way. And then Sir Gaheris took his horse and met him, and said, Sir Kay, ye are not wise to ride at the request of King Mark, for he dealeth all with treason. Then said Sir Kay, I require you let us prove this adventure. I shall not fail you, said Sir Gaheris. And so they rode that time till a lake that was at time called the Perilous Lake, and there they abode under the shore of the wood. The meanwhile King Mark within the castle of Tintagil avoided all his barons, and all others save such as were privy with him were avoided out of his chamber. And then he let call his nephew Sir Andrade, and bade arm him and horse him lightly. And by that time it was midnight. And so King Mark was armed in black, horse and all. And so at a privy postern they two issued out with their varlets with them, and rode till they came to that lake. Then Sir Kay espied them first, and get his spear, and proffered to joust. And King Mark rode against him, and smote each other full hard, for the moon shone as a bright day. And there at that joust Sir Kay's horse fell down, for his horse was not so big as a king's horse, and Sir Kay's horse bruised him full sore. Then Sir Gaheris was wroth that Sir Kay had a fall. Then he cried, Knight, sit thou fast in thy saddle, for I will revenge my fellow. Then King Mark was afeard of Sir Gaheris, and so with evil will King Mark rode against him, and Sir Gaheris gave him such a stroke that he fell down. So then forthwithal Sir Gaheris ran unto Sir Andrade, and smote him from his horse quite, that his helm smote in the earth, and nigh had broken his neck. And therewithal Sir Gaheris alighted, and get up Sir Kay. And then they yode both on foot to them, and bade them yield them, and tell their names out how they should die. Then with great pain Sir Andrade spake first, and said, It is King Mark of Cornwall, therefore be ye ware what ye do, and I am Sir Andrade, his cousin. Fie on you both, said Sir Gaheris, for a false traitor, and false treason hast thou wrought me both, under the feigned cheer that ye made us. It were pity, said Sir Gaheris, that thou shouldst live any longer. Save my life, said King Mark, and I will make amends. And consider that I am a king anointed. It were the more shame, said Sir Gaheris, to save thy life. Thou art a king anointed with cream, and therefore thou shouldst hold with all men of worship, and therefore thou art worthy to die. With that he lashed at King Mark without saying any more, and covered him with his shield, and defended him as he might. And then Sir Kay lashed at Sir Andrade, and therewithal King Mark yielded him unto Sir Gaheris. And then he kneeled down, and made his oath upon the cross of the sword, that never while he lived he would be against errant knights. And also he sware to be good friend unto Sir Tristram if ever he came into Cornwall. By then Sir Andrade was on the earth, and Sir Kay would have slain him. Let be, said Sir Gaheris, slay him not, I pray you. It were pity, said Sir Kay, that he should live any longer, for this is nigh cousin unto Sir Tristram, and ever he had been a traitor unto him, and by him he was exiled out of Cornwall, and therefore I will slay him, said Sir Kay. Ye shall not, said Sir Gaheris. Sithen I have given the king his life, I pray you give him his life. And therewithal Sir Kay let him go. And so Sir Kay and Sir Gaheris rode their way unto Dinas, the seneschal, for because they heard say that he loved well Sir Tristram. So they reposed them there, and soon after they rode unto the realm of Logres. And so within a little while they met with Sir Lancelot that always had Dame Bragwain with him. To that intent he weened to have met the sooner with Sir Tristram. And Sir Lancelot asked what tidings in Cornwall, and whether they heard of Sir Tristram or not. Sir Kay and Sir Gaheris answered and said that they heard not of him. Then they told Sir Lancelot word by word of their adventure. Then Sir Lancelot smiled and said, Hard it is to take out of the flesh that is bred in the bone, and so made them merry together. Chapter 39. How after that Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, and Sir Dinadan had been long in prison, they were delivered. Now leave we off this tale, and speak we of Sir Dinas that had within the castle a paramour, and she loved another knight better than him. And so when Sir Dinas went out hunting, she slipped down by a towel, and took with her 2 brachets, and so she yetted to the knight that she loved, and he her again. And when Sir Dinas came home and missed his paramour and his brachets, then was he the more wrother for his brachets than for the lady. So then he rode after the knight that had his paramour, and bade him turn and joust. So Sir Dinas smote him down, that with the fall he brake his leg and his arm. And then his lady and paramour cried Sir Dinas mercy, and said she would love him better than ever she did. Nay, said Sir Dinas, I shall never trust him that once betrayed me, and therefore, as he had begun, so end, for I will never meddle with you. And so Sir Dinas departed, and took his brachets with him, and so rode to his castle. Now will we turn unto Sir Lancelot, that was right heavy that he could never hear no tidings of Sir Tristram, for all this while he was in prison with Sir Darras, Palomides, and Dinadan. Then Dame brave Gawain took a leave to go into Cornwall, and Sir Lancelot, Sir Kay, and Sir Gareth rode to seek Sir Tristram in the country of Sir Luce. Now speaketh this tale of Sir Tristram and of his two fellows, for every day Sir Palomides brawled and said language against Sir Tristram. I marvel, said Sir Dinadan, of thee, Sir Palomides, and now hadst Sir Tristram here thou wouldst do him no harm. For when a wolf and a sheep were together in a prison, the wolf would suffer the sheep to be in peace. And wit thou well, said Sir Dinadan, this same is Sir Tristram a word, and now must thou do thy best with him, and let's see now if he can skift it with your hands. Then was Sir Palomides abashed, and said little. Sir Palomides, then said Sir Tristram, I have heard much of your maugre against me, but I will not meddle with you as at this time by my will, because I dread the lord of this place that are thus in governance. For when I dread him not more than I do thee, soon it should be skift. So they peaced themselves. Right so came in a Deimos and said, Knights, be of good cheer, for ye are sure of your lives, and that I heard say my lord, Sir Darras. Then were they glad all three, for daily they weened they should have died. Then soon after this Sir Tristram fell sick, that he weened to have died. Then Sir Dinadan wept, and so did Sir Palomides under them both, making great sorrow. So a damosel came into them and found them mourning. Then she went unto Sir Darras, and told him how that mighty knight that bare the black shield was likely to die. That shall not be, said Sir Darras, for God defend when knights come to me for succour that I should suffer them to die within my prison. Therefore, said Sir Darras to the damosel, fetch that knight and his fellows afore me. And then anon Sir Darras saw Sir Tristram brought afore him. He said, Sir knight, me repenteth of thy sickness, for thou art called a full noble knight, and so it seemeth by thee. And wit ye well it shall never be said that Sir Darras shall destroy such a noble knight as thou art in prison. Howbeit that thou hast slain 3 of my sons, whereby I was greatly aggrieved. But now shalt thou go and thy fellows, and your harness and horses are being fair and clean kept, and ye shall go where it liketh you, upon this covenant, that thou, knight, wilt promise me to be good friend to my sons 2 that be now alive, and also that thou tell me thy name. Sir, said he, as for me my name is Sir Tristram de Lyons, and in Cornwall was I born, and nephew I am unto King Mark. And as for the death of your sons I might not do withal, for when they had been the next kin that I might have done none otherwise. And if I had slain them by treason or treachery, I had been worthy to have died. All this I consider, said Sir Darras, that all that ye did was by force of knighthood, and that was a cause I would not put you to death. But sith ye be Sir Tristram, the good knight, I pray you heartily to be my good friend and to my sons. Sir, said Sir Tristram, I promise you by the faith of my body, ever while I live I will do you service, for ye have done to us but as a natural knight ought to do. Then Sir Tristram reposed him there till that he was amended of his sickness, and when he was big and strong they took their leave, and every knight took their horses, and so departed and rode together till they came to a crossway. Now, fellows, said Sir Tristram, here will we depart in sundry ways. And because Sir Dinadan had the first adventure of him, I will begin. So they hurtled together as thunder, and either smote other passing sore. But Sir Dinadan put him through the shoulder a grievous wound, and or ever Sir Dinadan might turn him, Sir Breuse was gone and fled. Then the lady prayed him to bring her to a castle there beside but 4 mile thence, and so Sir Dinadan brought her there. And she was welcome, for the lord of that castle was her uncle, and so Sir Dinadan rode his way upon his adventure. Now turn with his tale unto Sir Tristram, that by adventure he came to a castle to ask lodging, wherein was Queen Morgan le Fay. And so when Sir Tristram was led into that castle, he had good cheer all that night. And upon the morn when he would have departed, the queen said, Wit ye well ye shall not depart lightly, for ye are here as a prisoner. Jesu defend, said Sir Tristram, for I was but late a prisoner. Fair knight, said the queen, ye shall abide with me till that I wit what ye are and from whence ye come. And ever the queen would set Sir Tristram on her own side, and her paramour on the other side. And ever Queen Morgan would behold Sir Tristram. And thereat the knight was jealous, and was in will suddenly to have run upon Sir Tristram with a sword, but he left it for shame. Then the queen said to Sir Tristram, Tell me thy name, and I shall suffer you to depart when ye will. Upon that covenant I tell you my name is Sir Tristram de Lyons. Ah, said Morgan le Fay, and I had wist that thou shouldst not have departed so soon as thou shalt. But sithen I have made a promise, I will hold it, with that thou wilt promise me to bear upon thee a shield that I shall deliver thee, under the castle of the Hard Rock, where King Arthur had cried a great tournament, and there I pray you that ye will be, and to do for me as much deeds of arms as ye may do. For at the castle of maidens, Sir Tristram, ye did marvellous deeds of arms as ever I heard knight do. Madam, said Sir Tristram, let me see the shield that I shall bear. Then the shield was brought forth, and the field was goldish, with a king and a queen therein painted, and a knight standing above them, upon the king's head, and the other upon the queen's. And because he deemed that Sir Lancelot loved Queen Guinevere paramour, and she him again, therefore Queen Morgan le Fay ordained that shield to put Sir Lancelot to a rebuke, to the intent that King Arthur might understand the love between them. Then Sir Tristram took that shield and promised her to bear it at the tournament at the castle of the Hard Rock. But Sir Tristram knew not that that shield was ordained against Sir Lancelot, but afterward he knew it. So then Sir Tristram took his leave of the queen, and took the shield with him. Then came the knight that held Queen Morgan le Fay. His name was Sir Hemison, and he made him ready to follow Sir Tristram. Fair friend, said Morgan, ride not after that knight, for ye shall not win no worship of him. Fie on him, coward, said Sir Hemison, for I wist never good knight come out of Cornwall but it was Sir Tristram de Lyons. Wouldn't that be he? Said she. Nay, nay, said he is with La Beale Isoud, and this is but a daft fish knight. Alas, my fair friend, ye shall find him the best knight that ever ye met withal, for I know him better than ye do. For your sake, said Sir Hemison, I shall slay him. Ah, fair friend, said the queen, me repenteth that ye will follow that knight, for I fear me so of your again coming. With this knight rode his wayward wrath, and he rode after Sir Tristram as fast as he had been chased with knights. When Sir Tristram heard a knight come after him so fast, he returned about, and saw a knight coming against him. And when he came nigh to Sir Tristram, he cried on high, Sir knight, keep thee from me. Then they rushed together as it had been thunder, and Sir Hemison breathed his spear upon Sir Tristram, but his harness was so good that he might not hurt him. And Sir Tristram smote him harder, and bare him through the body, and he fell over his horse's croup. Then Sir Tristram turned to have done more with his sword, but he saw so much blood go from him that him seemed he was likely to die. And so he departed from him and came to a fair manor to an old knight, and there Sir Tristram lodged. Chapter 42. How Morgan le Fay buried her paramour, and how Sir Tristram praised Sir Lancelot and his kin. Now leave to speak of Sir Tristram, and speak we of the knight that was wounded to the death. Then his varlet alighted, and took off his helm, and then he asked his lord whether there were any life in him. There is in me life, said the knight, but it is but little, and therefore leap thou behind me when thou hast holpen me up, and hold me fast that I fall not, and bring me to Queen Morgan le Fay, for deep draughts of death draw to my heart that I may not live, for I would fain speak with her or I died, for else my soul will be in great peril and I die. For with great pain his varlet brought him to the castle, and there Sir Hemison fell down dead. When Morgan le Fay saw him dead, she made great sorrow out of reason, and then she let despoil him unto his shirt, and so she let him put into a tomb. And about the tomb she let write, Here lieth Sir Hemison, slain by the hands of Sir Tristram de Lyons. Now turn we unto Sir Tristram, that asked the knight his host if he so late any knights adventurous. Sir, he said, the last night he lodged with me Ector de Maris and a damosel with him, and the damosel told me that he was one of the best knights of the world. That is not so, said Sir Tristram, for I know for better knights of his own blood. And the first is Sir Lancelot du Lake, call him the best knight, and Sir Bors de Ganis, Sir Bleoberis, Sir Blamore de Ganis, and Sir Gaheris. Nay, said his host, Sir Gawain is a better knight than he. That is not so, said Sir Tristram, for I have met with them both, and I felt Sir Gaheris the better knight, and Sir Lamorak I call him as good as any of them except Sir Lancelot. Why name ye not Sir Tristram? Said his host, for I account him as good as any of them. I know not Sir Tristram, said Tristram. Thus they talked and boarded as long as them list, and then went to rest. And on the morn Sir Tristram departed, and took his leave of his host, and rode toward the rush dure, and none adventure had Sir Tristram but that. And so he rested not till he came to the castle, where he saw 500 tents. Chapter 43. How Sir Tristram at a tournament bare the shield that Morgan le Fay delivered to him. Then the King of Scots and the King of Ireland held against King Arthur's knights, and there began a great medley. So came in Sir Tristram and did marvellous deeds of arms, for they smote down many knights. And ever he was afore King Arthur with that shield. And when King Arthur saw that shield, he marvelled greatly in what intent it was made. But Queen Guinevere deemed as it was, wherefore she was heavy. Then was there a damosel of Queen Morgan in a chamber by King Arthur, and when she heard King Arthur speak of that shield, then she spake openly unto King Arthur, Sir King, wit ye well this shield was ordained for you, to warn you of your shame and dishonour, and that longeth to you and your queen. And then anon that damosel picked her away privily, that no man wist where she was become. Then was King Arthur sad and wroth, and asked from whence came that damosel. There was not one that knew her nor wist where she was become. Then Queen Guinevere called her Sir Ector de Maris, and there she made a complaint to him, and said, I wot well this shield was made by Morgan le Fay in despite of me and of Sir Lancelot, wherefore I dread me sore lest I should be destroyed. And ever the king beheld Sir Tristram, that did so marvellous deeds of arms that he wondered sore what knight he might be, and well he wist it was not Sir Lancelot. And it was told him that Sir Tristram was in Petty Britain with Ice à la Blanche Mains, for he deemed, and he had been in the realm of Logres, Sir Lancelot or some of his fellows that were in the quest of Sir Tristram that they should have found him or that time. So King Arthur had marvel what knight he might be. And ever Sir Arthur's eye was on that shield, or that espied the queen, and that made her sore feared. Then ever Sir Tristram smote down knights wonderly to behold, what upon the right hand and upon the left hand, that unneed no knight might withstand him. And the King of Scots and the King of Ireland began to withdraw them. When Arthur espied that, he thought that that knight with a strange shield should not escape him. Then he called unto him Sir Uwaine le Blanche Mains, and bade him arm him and make him ready. So anon King Arthur and Sir Uwaine dressed them before Sir Tristram, and required him to tell them where he had that shield. Sir, he said, I had it of Queen Morgan le Fay, sister unto King Arthur.